In the early stages of startup, you have to use your resources wisely. A basic phone that can make calls and send texts is enough. After buying the phone, Yi Xian went to a China mobile store and got an M-Zone SIM card, becoming an M-Zoner, a real blast from the past. Manager Chun, it's Yi Xian. This is my new number. You should save it. As soon as he got the card, Yi Xian gave Chun Shui a call. All right, Mr. Yi. After the call ended, Chun Shui's imagination ran wild. Did he get a new SIM card just to contact me? Mr. Yi is as mysterious as ever. When Yi Xian returned to school, it was break time. The moment he stepped into the classroom, the noisy room fell silent. The next moment, Yi Xian, I heard you're going to be on TV. Was it really Du Bing who interviewed you? A crowd of classmates surrounded him, chattering and gossiping. Yi Xian chuckled. Wow, you guys hear things fast. It's all over the school. We're so jealous. Is Du Bing that pretty in real life? As soon as this question was asked, all the boys' interest was piqued. Even Xiao Nanji, who was pretending to do her homework, secretly perked up her ears. Yi Xian grinned. Pretty? That's an understatement. She's drop-dead gorgeous. It's no exaggeration to say she's the most elegant beauty I've ever seen. Screeched the tip of her pen tore a vicious wound across Xiao Nanji's workbook. For real? Are you exaggerating? I don't think it's an exaggeration. Du Bing is Mingqing TV's #1 beauty, and with the aura of a TV host, her elegance must be off the charts. The boys were all worked up. Chun Ming, in particular, was filled with envy, jealousy, and hate. Du Bing, the dream girl of countless men in Mingqing. That bastard Yi Xian really lucked out to be able to talk to her face to face. A persistent suitor can win a virtuous maiden. Right, Xiao Nanji? Chun Ming's eyes lit up. Seeing his chance, he hurried to the school beauty side to pledge his loyalty. Classmate Xiao, Yi Xian's taste is definitely flawed. In my heart, you're the most elegant beau. Before the tie in beauty could leave his lips, Xiao Nanji shot him a cold glare. Even for someone as thick-skinned as Chun Ming, he could feel the murderous intent in the school beauty's eyes. He gave a dry laugh and scurried back to his seat with his tail between his legs. Nanji, I think Yi Xian probably said that on purpose for you to hear, her desk mate Wang Qian whispered. Xiao Nanji, who was still fuming, brightened up. What do you mean? Wang Qian adjusted her glasses. Yi Xian is an Aquarius. Aquarius men like to make others jealous. It's a way of testing if someone likes them. Xiao Nanji's interest was piqued. So, he's trying to make me jealous on purpose. Wang Qian nodded. I'm an expert in astrology. I'm definitely not wrong. Xiao Nanji's bad mood vanished in an instant. She lifted her chin haughtily. Who will like such a childish guy? So boring. Wang Qian adjusted her glasses again and muttered to herself, a classic Aries, saying one thing and meaning another. What did you say? Xiao Nanji didn't hear clearly. Nothing. Wang Qian shook her head and went back to flipping through her astrology book. Beside her, Xiao Nanji's muttering could be heard. So what if she's a TV host? What's so great about that? Does he think he can make me jealous that easily? I'm not falling for a childish, idiotic narcissist. After school, Yi Xian rode his bike back to the Jinxiu Lanting residential complex. Yo, little Yi back from school? Wow, Uncle Zhang. How did you know I'm going to be on Mingqiang Good Deeds tonight? Uncle Zhang. Little Yi is back. Come over to Annie's for some dumplings. Annie Lu. How did you also know I'm going to be on Mingqiang Good Deeds tonight? Annie Lu. Have you heard? Little Yi is going to be on Mingqiang Good Deeds tonight. Oh, who said that? Little Yi himself. The kid says to everyone he sees, how did you know I'm going to be on Mingqiang Good Deeds tonight? It's hard not to hear about it. That kid. Thanks to Yi Xian's efforts, nearly everyone in the Jinxiu Lanting complex knew about it. Meanwhile, as soon as Yi Xian got home, he said, Mom, I'm hungry. Is dinner ready? Comrade Wang Jiahui poked her head out of the kitchen. Wow, how did you know I was going to be on TV? Yi Xian. Just then, Yi Jiming, who was sitting on the sofa reading the newspaper, laughed and said, Mingqing TV came to the factory this morning to interview your mom and me. Yi Xian was stunned. That happened. Du Bing didn't tell him. Wang Jiahui scoffed. Of course it did. Would your dad and I lie to you? Yi Xian sucked his teeth. So what did you guys talk about? Just you wait and see. Anyway, it'll definitely make you look good. With that, Wang Jiehui ducked back into the kitchen. By the way, Chief Chun gave me the Good Samaritan Award and the reward for the Rainy Night Devil today. This time, Wang Jiehui rushed right up to Yi Xian. Really? How much in total? Yi Jiming, who had been reading the newspaper, also stood up. Yi Xian, not much, just 52,000 yuan. I'll put the money in my account for now. I'll transfer it to your account over the weekend. This Friday, the profits from his first stock trade would come in. Giving his parents 52,000 then wouldn't have a big impact on him. Oh, you kid. What difference does it make whose account the money is in? Wang Jiehui grumbled, then turned to Yi Jiming and said, Old Yi, go get my bank card so our son can get the account number. Yi Xian. Yi Jiming. Wang Jiehui chuckled. I'm just worried you'll spend it recklessly. Don't worry, Mom will save it all for you. You can use it when you get married in the future. Yi Xian thought to himself, I knew you'd think that, which is why I brought it up in the first place. 8:15 p.m. Officer Xiao Zhang, as usual, was at home, drinking a beer and watching Mingcheng TV. On the TV, a scene was playing of Yi Xian receiving an award in the auditorium of one high school. The scene changed, and Du Bing began to interview Yi Xian. When you stumbled upon him in the act, was the situation very dangerous? The situation at the time looked very dangerous, but in reality, it wasn't safe in the slightest. Officer Xiao Zhang stared blankly for 2 or 3 seconds before laughing and cursing. This kid, who the hell did he learn that from? It almost took me a second to get it. After the interview with Yi Xian ended, Wang Jiehui's figure appeared on screen. Ma'am, if your son Yi Xian were to encounter a similar situation again, what would you hope he'd do? Do you even have to ask? Of course, he should still charge forward bravely. Xiao Zhang sprayed out the beer he had just taken a sip of. I picked up a high school student skipping class today. He was hilarious. As soon as the taxi driver, old Zhao, got home, he started telling his wife about the interesting thing that happened that day. Old Zhao's wife, setting the table, asked, Oh? How so? He said he was the one who helped the police catch the Rainy Night Devil. He also said he was interviewed by Du Bing and was going to be on TV tonight, telling me I had to watch. At the time, I thought to myself, if he can get on Mingcheng Good Deeds, then I can get on the national news. Don't think I don't know what you're up to. If you want to see Du Bing, just say so. Old Zhao's wife irritably turned on the TV and switched it to Mingcheng TV. To most of the people in Mingcheng, the Rainy Night Devil is synonymous with ferocity and terror. Old Zhao rubbed his eyes and exclaimed, Holy crap. So he wasn't bullshitting after all. Old Zhao's wife also realized what was happening and said with an exasperated laugh, Well, look at that. He really is on Mingcheng Good Deeds. So when are you going to be on the national news? Old Zhao gave a wry smile and waved his hand. All right, stop giving me a hard time. I really failed to recognize a great person when I saw one. Mingcheng People's Hospital, in a special care ward. So he's the boy who saved me. He's actually quite handsome. On the hospital bed, a sweet-looking girl with a healthy complexion watched the confidently speaking Yi Xian on the TV, a light shining in her beautiful eyes. The next morning, Yi Xian, with his backpack on, walked into the classroom laughing and talking with Hong Liteo. Xiao Nanji, who had already finished her breakfast at her desk, looked up at them. Influenced by his sixth sense, Yi Xian also subconsciously looked toward Xiao Nanji. The moment their eyes met, the great school beauty snorted and arrogantly turned her head away. Yi Xian. Wait, when did I offend her again? What a psycho. They really did have a falling out. Even a formidable woman can't fend off a persistent man. Chun Ming, you can do this. Chun Ming, who was secretly observing the two, clenched his fists and cheered himself on. Huh, love really does lower a person's IQ. Reading horoscope books is more interesting. Wang Qian adjusted her glasses, a cold glint flashing across the lenses. 9:00 a.m. After the bell rang for the end of the first period, Yi Xian went outside the academic building and took out his phone to call Chen Shui. At the stock exchange, inside the office of an investment manager at Jintai Securities. Seeing the caller ID, Chen Shui quickly answered, Hello, Mr. Yi. This is Chen Shui. What are your instructions? Yi Xian, Manager Chun, in half an hour, I need you to buy a Shinka electronic stock with my full position. Send me a text when it's done. Chen Shui thought she had misheard. You mean, Use 10x leverage to go all in on Acing Electronics. That sounds like a completely insane move. Shouldn't you normally buy multiple stocks at the same time to spread the risk? Correct. Mr. Acing Electronics has recently lost 2 clients, and the downward trend in its stock price is very clear. Can you do it or not? If you can't, I'll find someone else. I'll give you 10 seconds to consider. Yi Xian's tone was very gentle. If you didn't listen to the content of his words, it would even make you feel as pleasant as a spring breeze. But after hearing the content, Chen Shui couldn't help but feel a chill. Speaking the most resolute words in the gentlest tone. Is this how an 18-year-old is supposed to act? A few seconds later, Chen Shui said, her tone slightly cold. All right, in half an hour, I will help you go all in on Acing Electronics. In any case, she made her living from the commission on each trade. If Yi Xian didn't listen to advice and lost money, so be it. It wouldn't have much of an impact on her. I'll have to trouble you then. Remember to send me a text. Yi Xian's tone was still gentle. Okay. After ending the call, Chen Shui murmured to herself. Could he have some inside information? The moment this thought surfaced, she couldn't help but laugh. Insider trading certainly exists in the stock market. But who, with the ability to play like that, isn't a major player? Even if such a big shot were to use a proxy, they wouldn't give them a mere $350,000 in funds. And they certainly wouldn't come looking for her to be their trader. This is illegal, so of course, the fewer people who know, the better. That leaves only 2 possibilities, an arrogant novice or a retail stock guru with a killer instinct. How could there be so many retail stock gurus in this world? Chen Shui gave a self-deprecating laugh and sighed. Mysterious, mature, confident. To think I would also have a day where I completely misjudge someone. After some thought, she had already pegged Yi Xian as a rich, second-generation novice, blindly arrogant and new to the stock market. A person like that was destined to lose everything in a short amount of time. And as for her and Yi Xian, they wouldn't have much interaction in the future. After a moment of reflection, Chen Shui logged into Yi Xian's account and, at 9:30, went all in on Acing Electronics. Then she sent a text to Yi Xian, have gone all in on Acing Electronics. In less than a minute, Yi Xian's reply came back. Thanks for your hard work. Inside the trading hall, Lu Dezhu, who had arrived early, was studying the broader market with great interest. Just then, a bald fellow investor next to him said in frustration, Damn it, how is Acing Electronics falling again? Lu Dezhu turned his head and asked, Brother, why are you still holding Acing Electronics? Well, I was thinking Acing Electronics has been falling for almost a month. It should be about time for a rebound. Lu Dezhu chuckled. Brother, you're trying to buy the dip and have only caught it halfway down, haven't you? Take a piece of advice from your big brother. The stock market is too deep, you can't handle it. You should get out while you can. The bald investor laughed in exasperation. So, you're saying you can handle it? Lu Dezhu smiled smugly. Of course. Just yesterday, a young fellow was trying to convince me to buy Acing Electronics. You see me buying it. The bald investor fell silent. Lu Dezhu continued. Let me put it this way. There must be a reason why Acing Electronics lost 2 clients. A bigger storm is yet to come. You should cut your losses and get out now while they're still small. The bald investor was starting to be convinced. Just as he was struggling with whether to cut his losses, the K-line chart for Acing Electronics suddenly shot upwards. In just a few short minutes, the stock price, which had been in a continuous decline, formed a V-shaped rise. Lu Dezhu was completely stunned. What the hell is happening? It's rising. Acing Electronics is rising. Ha ha ha. The bald investor, who had been frustrated just moments before, was instantly flushed with excitement. Losing face, Lu Dezhu said, Don't get too excited. It could be a technical adjustment. The words had barely left his mouth when a fellow investor on the phone in the distance exclaimed, What? Foreign capital is investing in Acing Electronics? Is the news reliable? Acing Electronics has made an announcement. The foreign investment is real. Holy crap. Hurry up and buy Acing Electronics. It'll be too late to get on board. The investors who got the news all went crazy, rushing to place their orders. Lu Dezhu, the one who had mentioned a technical adjustment, couldn't sit still either and shot up to run. The bald investor shouted after him, Big brother, take a piece of advice from your little brother. The stock market is too deep. You can't handle it. You should get out while you can. Liu Deju's face turned green. Just 10 minutes later, the stock price of Xinka Electronics hit its daily limit up. Liu Deju, who hadn't managed to get on board in time, his face turned an even darker shade of green. In the investment manager's office, watching the K-line chart for Xinka Electronics, Chen Shui was completely dumbfounded. She had watched the entire trajectory of Xinka Electronics stock price. From the purchase at 9:35 to it hitting the limit up at 10:10, it had only taken 35 minutes. And just 35 minutes ago, she had thought Yi Xian was a blindly arrogant stock market novice. This result was like a powerful, heavy slap that left her reeling. She didn't know how much time had passed. Chen Shui hurriedly grabbed her phone and dialed Yi Xian's number. After 2 rings, the call was disconnected. The beautiful manager's heart skipped a beat. Could Mr. Yi be angry with me? She clearly remembered that her attitude had been rather cold before. Thinking of this, she quickly sent a text message to explain, "I'm sorry, Mr. Yi. I shouldn't have doubted your judgment." A few seconds later, a text came from Yi Xian. "Was busy just now." Chen Shui breathed a sigh of relief and typed with trembling hands, "Mr. Yi, Xinka Electronics has hit the limit up." Yi Xian. Oh. Chen Shui. Wait. A stock bought with a full position of 3.5 million has hit its limit. And his only reply is, "Oh, how can he be so calm?" Chapter 019. A folk stock god. Because it dropped 0.5% after you bought it. Your total return this time is 9.5%, which is 332,500 yuan. As she typed out this string of numbers, Chen Shui's heart was trembling. Earning 332,500 yuan in just 35 minutes. What kind of concept was that? If it were her, she would have gone wild with joy. Yi Xian, not bad. Chen Shui was left speechless again. But on second thought, for a young master from a wealthy family, a little over 300,000 really wasn't much, and she felt relieved. After calming herself down, she asked, "Should I sell immediately after the market opens tomorrow?" The A-share market operates on a T+1 system. Stocks bought on a given day can only be sold the next day. The stock market is like a battlefield. A stock might be bullish today, only to plummet at tomorrow's opening due to some negative news. Exiting in time and securing profits is the wisest strategy. In stock trading, greed is the biggest taboo. Yi Xian, just follow my instructions. You don't need to worry about anything else. Chen Shui wanted to persuade him further, but the thought of how she had just been proven wrong made her swallow her words. "Okay, I'll await your instructions." After finishing her report, the beautiful manager was lost in thought again. She had previously considered 2 possibilities. Now, the novice theory had been overturned by reality. Could Yi Xian be a legendary folk stock god, an 18-year-old stock god? This is too unscientific. Or was he just lucky and hit the jackpot? No, that can't be it. He was too calm, too confident, as if he had long predicted this outcome. Chen Shui shook her head. Let's see what happens tomorrow. If his judgment is wrong tomorrow, then it can only be attributed to luck. Amidst the beautiful manager's anticipation, the next day arrived. As soon as the market opened in the morning, Xinka Electronics surged again, hitting the limit up in just 5 minutes. To Chen Shui's surprise, Yi Xian still didn't give her the order to liquidate the position. With a sense of unease, the third day arrived. Right at the opening, the upward trend of Xinka Electronics' stock price slowed down noticeably. Chen Shui immediately reported the situation to Yi Xian and offered her advice. "I think now is the best time to liquidate and exit the market." A few seconds later, a text came from Yi Xian. "Wait a little longer." Although Chen Shui felt helpless, she could only continue to wait. At 2:30 in the afternoon, the price of Xinka Electronics began to rise a little more. Just then, a text arrived from Yi Xian. "Liquidate everything." Chen Shui's spirits lifted, and she immediately began the operation. When the transaction was complete, she began to calculate the profits from this trade. Total capital, 3.5 million. Cumulative gain, 24.1%. After deducting leverage interest, commissions, and stamp duty, the total profit was 836,500. Looking at this number, Chen Shui's breathing began to quicken. As an investment manager at a securities firm, her monthly income was consistently over 20,000. In a place where the average salary was 1,500, a monthly salary of 20,000 was definitely considered a high income. But compared to the speed at which Yi Xian made money, her 20,000 yuan monthly salary was a complete joke. If I had liquidated a little later, the profit could have been even higher. It seems Mr. Yi is still quite conservative. Just as Chen Shui was muttering to herself, she suddenly saw the price of Shinka Electronics begin to fall. In just 5 minutes, it fell 5% from its peak. Then it began to trade sideways. My God! Chen Shui's beautiful eyes widened in shock. Her red lips slightly parted. Just a moment ago, she thought Yi Xian was being a bit conservative. Only now did she realize this wasn't conservatism at all. It was an incredibly precise prediction. Buying at the lowest point, selling at the highest point. This operation was simply godlike. Could he really be a stock god? Chen Shui had heard from industry veterans that some people just have a natural talent for stock trading. This kind of person can predict the direction of the stock market through some subtle clues. It's like the Xinwen Lianhua. Ordinary people watch it just to understand what major events are happening at home and abroad. But those tycoons can judge the future direction of policy from these news reports and make arrangements in advance. No wonder he looks so mature and confident. Chen Shui's beautiful eyes flashed, and she picked up her phone to report the battle results to Yi Xian. Yi Xian, okay, I got it. I'll contact you when I've chosen the next stock. As expected of Mr. Yi, a profit of 836,500 yuan is not enough to cause any emotional fluctuation in him. Chen Shui couldn't help but sigh with emotion, then replied, Okay, Mr. Yi. In the classroom of Class 5, Grade 3, at No. 1 high school. It was just after class had ended. After sending the text message, Yi Xian could no longer suppress the excitement in his heart and pumped his fist fiercely. A net profit of 836,500 yuan in 3 days. Even at the peak of his career in his previous life, he couldn't have achieved this. Adding the reserved 350,000 yuan margin, his total assets had already exceeded 1 million, and had only been 5 days since his rebirth. Who are you chatting with that's got you so excited? Hong Liteo leaned his head over. Yi Xian locked his screen and glanced at him. You don't know them. Wouldn't I know them if you introduced me? You don't even know them. What's the point of me introducing them? Then give me your phone. I want to play Snake for a bit. Hong Liteo reached out to grab the phone. Yi Xian raised an eyebrow and stopped him. Liteo, are you hiding something from me? Hong Liteo's gaze flickered. What could I be hiding from you? Yi Xian sneered. Hong Liteo's expression became even more unnatural. Just then a cough came from the front. Yi Xian looked up and happened to see Wang Qian get up and walk out of the classroom. At this moment, Hong Liteo pulled his hand back. Fine if you don't give it to me. I'm going to the restroom. Looking at his best friend's back as he pretended to be calm, Yi Xian murmured to himself, This kid is definitely hiding something from me. At the edge of the sports field, Wang Qian was sitting under the shade of a tree, reading a book. Just then, Hong Liteo came up behind her and squatted down to tie his shoelaces. Wang Qian turned a page of her book. Have you found out who he's in contact with? Hong Liteo looked around warily. Not yet. Wang Qian's delicate brows furrowed slightly. It's been 2 days, and you can't even handle such a small thing? What can I do if he doesn't tell me? Then do you still want to help them get back together or not? Of course I do, but no buts. For the sake of your brother's happiness, you must do everything you can. Hong Liteo straightened up, pretending to take a step. Then he squatted down again and began to tie the shoelace of his other shoe. What if Yi Xian really doesn't like Xiao Nanji anymore? Wang Qian turned another page. Do you think that's possible? Yi Xian has liked Xiao Nanji for 3 years. He's just having a hard time accepting being rejected by her. Hong Liteo's eyes flashed. That makes sense. Wang Qian adjusted her glasses. If another girl takes advantage of this opportunity, the two of them will really be over. This will become a regret for their entire lives. As Yi Xian's best friend, can you bear to see that happen? Hong Liteo was instantly fired up. I know what to do. Wang Qian nodded almost imperceptibly, closed her book, and got up to walk towards the school building. A few seconds later, Hong Liteo pretended that nothing had happened, got up, and walked towards the restroom. In the corridor on the first floor of the school building, by the window, Yi Xian, who had taken the entire scene, was dumbfounded. Wait a minute. What are these two idiots doing? Why does it look like a secret agent rendezvous from the war era? There's a conspiracy. Any results? As soon as Wang Qian returned to her seat, Xiao Nanji couldn't help but ask. No, Hong Liteo is too useless, Wang Qian said with a tone of disappointment. Qian Liteo is helping us after all. Don't talk about him like that. But he is useless. He can't even do this little thing right. Qian, all right. I won't say he's useless anymore. Anyway, just wait a little longer. He'll let us know as soon as there are any results. Xiao Nanji nodded and didn't say anything more. Her relationship with Wang Qian was just like Yi Xian's with Hong Liteo. They were deskmates and best friends. In the past, when she and Yi Xian went to and from school together, Hong Liteo and Wang Qian would also follow behind. Over time, those two also became good friends. Yesterday, Wang Qian heard from Hong Liteo that Yi Xian had bought a phone and was even texting during class. This aroused Xiao Nanji's vigilance. Not coming to coax her, buying a phone, texting in class. When these factors were linked together, it seemed like he had found someone new. After some hesitation, she asked Wang Qian to gather information from Hong Liteo. Who could be contacting him? Xiao Nanhua fretted inwardly. Ding ding dong. The class dismissal bell rang. Yi Xian, any plans for the weekend? Not really. What's up? How about hitting the internet cafe to play Legend? It's been ages. Damn, aren't you afraid your dad'll kill you? That's why I need you to cover for me. Hong Liteo grinned ingratiatingly as he packed his bag. His grades were lousy, but Yi Xian's were stellar. If Yi Xian claimed they were studying together, his parents would be thrilled. Just as Yi Xian was about to mock him, their classmate's son, Chao, walked over and nudged him with a smirk. Yi Xian, someone's looking for you. Who? Some gorgeous girl I don't recognize. Hong Liteo's eyes lit up. How gorgeous? Sun Chao glanced at Xiao Nanhua. On par with the school belle. Probably not from our school. Hong Liteo froze for a second before whipping his head toward Yi Xian. Holy crap, could this be the girl who's been texting Yi Xian lately? Yi Xian was equally stunned. A beauty on Xiao Nanhua's level. Could it be Du Bing? No, Du Bing was famous. Sun Chao would have recognized her. Chen Shui was unlikely to. She didn't even know he attended First High. And if she really wanted to find him, she'd just call. No need for this hassle. Puzzled, Yi Xian motioned for Sun Chao to lead the way. Nanhua, seems like some pretty girls looking for Yi Xian outside, Wang Qian whispered upon hearing the commotion. Xiao Nanhua had already caught wind of it. After a few seconds of internal struggle, she gritted her teeth and stood up, striding out. Could she be the one texting Yi Xian? Wang Qian adjusted her glasses and followed. In the hallway. That's her. Sun Chao pointed toward a girl standing by the window, gazing at the distant scenery. She was around 165 centimeters tall, with her hair tied into high twin ponytails. Beneath her white short-sleeve blouse was a slender, willow-like waist. A black pleated skirt, ending just above her knees, revealed long, straight legs. White thigh-high socks covered most of her porcelain skin, which practically glowed. On her feet were black Mary Jane shoes. In 2004, this outfit was cutting-edge fashion. Combined with her alluring figure, she drew frequent glances from passing students. Yi Xian studied her back for a moment, confirming he didn't recognize her, then moved to greet her. Just then, the girl turned around. A sweet face greeted Yi Xian, stirring both awe and a strange sense of familiarity. Yi Xian, the girl, clasped her hands behind her back and tilted her head. Hiss, Sun Chao, Hong Liteo, and the other boys watching from a distance felt their hearts melt from sheer sweetness. Xiao Nanhua's brows twitched, a subtle sense of crisis rising within her. At First High, she had always been in a league of her own. Part of her pride stemmed from that status. But this girl's arrival was like a rival tiger encroaching on her territory. The school bell felt threatened. Yi Xian nodded. Yeah, and you are? My name's Lin Shitong. Ring any bells? As she spoke, two delicate dimples appeared on her cheeks. Lin Shitong. Yi Xian repeated the name, the familiarity growing stronger. It hit him. In his past life, an A-list actress dubbed China's sweetheart had shared the same name. Looking at this girl now, aside from her youthful innocence, she was the spitting image of that star. Could This beauty before him be the future nation's sweetheart. Still don't remember? Lin Shitong scrunched her nose, looking crestfallen. Sun Chao, Hong Li Teo, and the others felt their hearts shatter. God, how can anyone be this adorable? Xiao Nanhua sneered inwardly. Fake cuteness. Yi Xian shrugged. Sorry, the name really doesn't click. Not the name, my face. Look closely. Anything now? Lin Shitong leaned in, bringing her face inches from his. A faint floral scent drifted over. Xiao Nanhua's pupils contracted, her fists clenching subconsciously. What the hell? Why is she getting so close to him? Yi Xian studied the sweet features now mere inches away before shaking his head. Nope, still nothing. He couldn't exactly say, oh, I know you. You'll be a superstar someday, right? Huh, you're impossible. Lin Shitong pouted, her lips forming a displeased little curve. Qian, I really want to go punch her right now. Xiao Nanhua hissed through gritted teeth, murder in her eyes. Wang Qian adjusted her glasses. If I were a boy, I would definitely prefer a gentle and sweet girl, not a tigress. Xiao Nanji was taken aback for a moment, then snorted lightly. Who cares if that guy likes me? I just don't like that girl. Wang Qian, an Aries. Xiao Nanji. Damn, what's going on? Did Yi Xian bully her, and now she's come to confront him? It's not impossible. Sun Chao and the other boys started whispering among themselves. The situation here attracted the attention of other students. Someone came over and asked, what's wrong? Yi Xian bullied this girl, and now she's come to confront him. Did that really happen? Isn't it obvious? Yi Xian was exasperated. I'm telling you, beautiful. You'd better hurry up and tell me why you're looking for me. If this rumor spreads any further, I'll be Chin Shimmy. Lin Shitong giggled. All right, then listen carefully. I'm the girl you saved from the rainy night psycho a few nights ago. The corridor fell silent. Sun Chao, Hong Li Teo, and the others all dropped their jaws. Xiao Nanji and Wang Qian were stunned on the spot. Yi Xian was also dumbfounded. The girl he saved was the future #1 sweet girl in the domestic entertainment industry? No way. Chapter 021, Warriors of Class 5. Follow me to conquer the playground. A few seconds later, after coming to his senses, Yi Xian asked, Are you really? Yes, didn't you see what I looked like at the time? Lin Shitong asked with a pout. She was quite confident in her looks. Logically speaking, any boy who had seen her would not forget her easily. But Yi Xian, on the other hand, had no impression of her at all. Yi Xian touched the tip of his nose. It was dark at the time. I really didn't see clearly. Speaking of which, in his previous life, Lin Shitong had not looked for him. This time, not only did she look for him, but she also came directly to the school. Could it be related to his appearance on Mingcheng Good Deeds? Lin Shitong smiled brightly. Is that so? Then I'll forgive you. Xiao Nanji sneered again in her heart. Who do you think you are? Why should Yi Xian need your forgiveness? How did you find me here? Yi Xian asked. I saw you on Mingcheng Good Deeds, and I asked around and found you, Lin Shitong said, swaying her body from side to side, her two high pigtails swinging, making the boys around her stare. This girl, so sweet and cute. As expected, Yi Xian's eyes flashed, and just as he was about to say something more, he suddenly heard a loud shout from a distance. Bad news. Wang, who was being bullied on the basketball court. The corridor immediately erupted. Who's so awesome? Daring to bully brother who? Damn, daring to bully my brother who? I can't tolerate it. Wang, who was also in class 5 of the 3rd year, and he was quite popular. Sun Chao and the other boys immediately rolled up their sleeves, ready to go to the basketball court to help Wang Hu. At this moment, the guy who came to report the news said, It's those sports students. Swoosh. Everyone froze on the spot, as if they had been hit by a paralyzing spell. If it were students from another class bullying Wang Hu, Sun Chao and the others would really dare to go and have a go. But those people were sports students. Their physiques were not on the same level, and their experience was even more different. How the hell could they fight? As the atmosphere became awkward, Yi Xian turned and walked out. Hong Li Teo's expression changed slightly. Yi Xian, where are you going? The basketball court, Yi Xian said without looking back. Hong Li Teo was startled and hurriedly went to pull him. Are you crazy? That's a group of sports students. Yi Xian paused, turned his head, and smiled. I only know that Wang Hu is my classmate, and we have a pretty good relationship. The essence of a person is the sum of all social relations. When faced with a certain problem, people will always naturally favor the group they belong to when choosing a side. This is true for everything from countries and nations to schools and classes. Wang Hu was his classmate, and he was very loyal, and he had spoken up for him before. These were enough for Yi Xian to make his choice. Hong Litao was stunned for a moment, then gritted his teeth. I'll go with you. Yi Xian smiled and nodded, and the two walked toward the playground side by side. So cool as expected of the man who dared to face the rainy night psycho. Lin Shitong's beautiful eyes flashed, and she lifted her foot to follow. Nanji, you'd better stop him, Wang Qian said with a solemn expression. Xiao and Nanji sighed. If I could stop him, he wouldn't be Yi Xian. She knew too well how stubborn Yi Xian was. Once this guy set his mind on something, Tin Bulls really couldn't pull him back. If their relationship was still like before, she could still try. But now, Wang Qian also sighed. Then just watch him get beaten up by a group. Those jocks are not to be trifled with. Xiao Nanji first shook her head, then, after scanning the entire room, said, Wang has been our classmate for 2 years. Now that he's being bullied, there's no way I could just stand by. Having said that, she looked at Wang Qian. Let's go, we're going to help Wang Hu. Wang Qian adjusted her glasses, likewise scanned the entire room, and then followed closely behind Xiao and Nanji towards the sports field. Damn, even the girls dare to help Wang Hu. If we don't, are we even men? As soon as Sun Chao finished speaking, he took off after them. The other boys felt a surge of hot blood, and all followed behind Sun Chao. Bad news. Wang Hu is being bullied by a group of jocks on a basketball court, and Yi Xian and the others have already gone over. A girl rushed into the classroom, calling for backup. Swish! All the other students collectively turned to look at the class monitor, Chun Ming. At times like this, most students were still more accustomed to seeing what the class monitor would do. Class monitor Chen's face was etched with indecision. Logically, as the class monitor, he should step forward at this moment to protect his classmates' interests. But the opponents were a fierce bunch of jocks. If he went over, would he get beaten to a pulp? Just then, the girl added, Nanji and Chanqian went. Chun Ming instantly ignited. He slammed the table, stood up, and shouted, Warriors of Class 5, follow me to flatten the sports field. Whoosh! The remaining boys all stood up. I'll get a broom. What good is a broom? Get a mop. Right, a mop's more effective. Save me a chair leg. Don't fight over them. There are bricks by the sports field. A few minutes later, a large, surging crowd of boys armed with makeshift weapons burst out of the Class 5 classroom. One guy even managed to quickly scribble victory in red pen on a white headband. The commotion here quickly attracted the attention of students from other classes. What's going on with Class 5? I heard they're going to fight with another class. Oh, really? Seriously? Didn't you see them carrying chair legs? Which class are they fighting? Looks like those people who train in sports. Hiss! The news spread like wildfire, and soon students from other classes also learned about it, all rushing towards the basketball court. At this moment, on a basketball court beside the sports field, Xuan Ming stood with his arms crossed, looking down at Wang Hu. I'll ask again, are you leaving or not? He was a shot put specialist, 192 centimeters tall and weighing 210 jin, 105 kilograms. Standing in front of Wang, who was only 176 centimeters tall, he was like a small mountain. Behind him stood 7 other sports specialists, not one of whom looked easy to mess with. Though afraid, Wang Hu still craned his neck and said, We clearly got here first. Wang Hu, how about we just let go? Yeah, Wang Hu, let's go. Brother Hu, a wise man knows when to retreat. The few classmates who had come to the court with Wang, who were relatively timid, and immediately began to persuade him. Just then, Hong Litao's shout came from afar. Don't be afraid, Wang Hu. We're here to help you. Swish! Everyone present collectively turned their heads and saw a group of people rushing towards them. A rough count revealed about 12 or 13. Hong Litao, Yi Xian. Seeing the 2 leading figures, Wang Hu was overjoyed. Xuan Ming and the others first exchanged glances, then chuckled and shook their heads. Compared to them, these classmates were like flowers in a greenhouse. So what if they had the numbers? Weren't there barely 20 of them? The advantage is with us. What's the situation, Hu Zi? Yi Xian asked as soon as he ran over. We occupied the court first, and they came over and wanted to kick us out. Wang Hu briefly explained the situation. I see. Yi Xian nodded, then turned to Xuanmeng. Bro, everything has an order of arrival. You guys came later. Isn't it a bit unprincipled to make the early arrivals leave? As he spoke, he suddenly remembered something. In his previous life, close to the college entrance examination, Xuanmeng had a motorcycle accident on his way to school and lost both his legs. A person who had hoped to enter the provincial team thus had his promising future ruined. If he could prevent this tragedy. Xuanmeng scoffed. Disagree? Then let's fight. Yeah, let's fight. Do you dare? Don't think you have the numbers. If we really fight, we won't. The other 7 were in the middle of spouting threats when they saw another group of boys armed with makeshift weapons rushing over from the teaching building. Wang Hu, hold on, we're coming. Chun Ming, who was at the very front, waved the mop head in his hand and shouted, Charge! Attack! Avenge Brother Hu! The boys from Class 5 shouted as they picked up bricks from the side of the sports field. Behind them, a large group of unarmed boys and girls followed. A rough count. There must have been over 100 people. At that moment, Xuanmeng and the others swallowed the words they were about to say. No matter how good they were at fighting, they'd have to kneel before an enemy that outnumbered them 10-1. Yi Xian was amused. This Chun Ming fellow was quite charismatic to be able to rally so many people. Then he looked at Xuanmeng. Are you still going to fight us now? Wang Hu and the others were also amused, looking at Xuanmeng and his group with teasing eyes. Brother Meng, why don't we retreat? Yeah, Brother Meng, there are too many of them. A wise man doesn't fight when the odds are against him. He who understands the times is a great man. Take a step back and you'll find a wide, open world. Under the persuasion of his brothers, Xuanmeng stiffened his neck and said angrily, Look at you lot. So what if they have more people? Does that mean we're bound to lose? We won't dare to fight just because they have more people. The other 7 were immediately a little ashamed. It had to be Brother Meng, who could face a landslide without a change in expression. What was that line from the textbook? A true warrior dares to face a bleak life, dares to look at dripping blood. Brother Meng is a true war. Isn't it just a game? Say it. Are we playing a full court or a half-court game? Xuanmeng continued. The other 7. Yi Xian, Wang Hu, and the others. So when you said fight, you meant a damn game. What a divine plot twist. After an unknown amount of time, Yi Xian said with a strange expression, So, when you said fight, you meant to play a game? What else? Xuanmeng spread his hands. We are all students and alumni of the same high school. Are we really going to get into a fight over such a small matter? Wouldn't that sadden our friends and gladden our enemies? Right, that's what I mean. Let's play a game. Whoever wins gets the court, dare you? 5v5 or 3v3 is fine. You can find anyone you want. The other 7 also reacted, agreeing while wiping a cold sweat in their hearts. It had to be Brother Meng, so damn witty. Wang Hu and the others looked at each other. If it was a fight, they had more people and a chance to win. But a game. Although Xuanmeng and the others were not professionally trained in basketball, they played a lot in their spare time, and their physical fitness was far superior. On the other hand, they rarely played basketball, and their bodies were drained by their studies. Wouldn't they just be asking for a beating? Just as they were hesitating, Yi Xian spoke up. It's not impossible, but there's a problem with your bet. What's wrong? Xuanmeng was puzzled. Yi Xian shrugged. Wang Hu and the others came early, so the court was originally theirs. It's not fair for you to decide the ownership of the court through a game. Right, it's not fair. Why should we play a game with you? The court was originally ours. Wang Hu and the others echoed. But Yi Xian's tone changed. Now that things have come to this, you definitely won't be convinced if we don't play a game. So let's change the bet. Huh? Wang Hu and the others were stunned. Why did Yi Xian still want to play? Xuanmeng was also stunned. How do we change it? That motorcycle of yours is pretty cool. If you lose, lend me the motorcycle for a month, dare you? The motorcycle Yi Xian was talking about was the one Xuanmeng was riding when he had his accident, a Weiyang Honda 125. In 2004, this motorcycle cost 6,500 Dragon Country coins, more expensive than Yi Jiming's 90A. Xuanmeng was even more confused. You want to ride my motorcycle? The others didn't understand either. A 125 wasn't a particularly cool motorcycle. Was it worth using as a bet? Lin Shitong, who was watching from the side, took out a small notebook from her bag and started taking notes. Yixian likes motorcycles. I can consider buying him one. Xiao Nanji's beautiful eyes flashed, so he likes to ride motorcycles. I'll ask later what brand of motorcycle boys like. Yixian nodded. Yes, you don't dare to bet? Xuanming scoffed. Who's afraid to bet? Say it. Do you want to play full court or half court? Yixian. Half court. 3v3. First of 3 baskets wins. How about it? Okay. I'll give you at most half an hour to choose your players. Xuanming also saw how calm Yixian was, and was afraid he would find experts from outside the school. Limiting it to half an hour would most likely prevent that from happening. Yixian made an okay gesture. Yixian, you're not serious, are you? We definitely can't beat them. Wang Hu and the others gathered around, their tone anxious. Yixian looked at them with contempt. You say you can't win before you even play. You guys are too cowardly. In fact, he wasn't sure either. Although he had consumed 22 basketball experience books, he had never played in a real game, so he didn't know his own strength. But if he didn't do this, he couldn't think of any other way to save Xuanming. Should he puncture Xuanming's tires every day? Or clog the valve stem with 502 superglue? Or block the exhaust pipe with a plastic bag? That's one way to do it. Just then, the group of classmates who had gone to grab tools rushed over. Brother Who, we're here. Who's bullying Brother Who? Get the hell out here. The group's arrival immediately boosted their presence. Seeing the chair legs, bricks, and other weapons in their hands, Xuanming and his friends quickly turned their heads away. At the same time, the other 7 once again praised Brother Ming's wisdom in their hearts. Yixian was amused. What's with all the ruckus? We're having a match, not a fight. Huh, it's not a fight. The group seemed rather disappointed. By the way, where's Chunming? Yixian scanned the crowd, but didn't see Chunming. He remembered the kid being the first to charge forward. Someone said with a strange expression. He went to the bathroom. Hong Liteo's face changed slightly. Did that son of a bitch desert his post? Not exactly, he went to... The person hesitated. Just at that moment, a figure charged out from the direction of the restrooms. Classmate Xiao, don't be afraid. I'm here to save you. Chunming shouted as he charged towards them, wielding a mop. What the fuck? What's that horrible smell? Whoa, what's that smeared on the mop head? Blarg. As Chunming rushed closer, every student present pinched their nose. The 2 great beauties, Xiao Nanji and Lin Shitong, were especially disgusted, constantly fanning the air in front of their noses with their hands. Yixian was fucking dumbfounded. Okay, did that bastard Chunming actually dip the mop in shit? If a fight broke out, who could possibly withstand that? It's Lubu reincarnated, for fuck's sake. The faces of Xuanming and his group turned green. Dipping a mop in shit. Is that something a human being would do? If they really fought, just getting touched by it, even if it didn't hurt, would be nauseating enough to kill a man. In an instant, the crowd of over 100 people was stunned into silence by Chunming. Seeing this scene, Class President Chun was filled with soaring pride. What does it mean to be one man holding a pass against 10,000? From this day on, tales of his mighty legend would surely circulate throughout No. One high. Those students, what are you doing? What do you think you're doing? Just then, a furious roar came from the distance. Oh no, it's Ghost Pester. We're screwed now. What do we do? Should we bail? In the entire No. One high, who hadn't heard of the infamous Ghost Pestered, the moment they heard his voice, many of them froze. As panic spread, Ghost Pestered ran over, panting. When he saw the tools in the hands of the Class 5 students, his face instantly turned ashen. What are you doing? Trying to have a gang fight? Are you all rebelling? Which classes are you from? Go get your homeroom teachers. The students looked at each other, no one daring to make a sound. Chunming, who had been so imposing just moments ago, was now so scared he tried to hide behind his classmates. Unfortunately, he was holding the divine weapon of a reincarnated Lubu. Wherever he went, others would pinch their noses and dodge away. Instantly, Chunming became the brightest star in the crowd. You're Chunming, the president of Class 5, right? Ghost Pestered sized up Chunming and frowned. I'm so screwed. Chunming wailed internally, but forced a smile. Yes, Director Qian. I'm Chun Ming. Ghost pestered snorted. As the class president, you're leading a group fight. Do you want to be expelled from school? Huh? Chun Ming's face twitched. I. At this moment, Yi Xian stepped forward. Director Qian, you've misunderstood. We're having a match, not a group fight. Ghost pestered had noticed him long ago. Seeing him jump out on his own accord, he couldn't help but sneer. So your class uses mops and chair legs for a match? In their last 3 encounters, he had been outsmarted by this kid every time. This time, with solid evidence, he refused to believe he couldn't get his revenge. Yi Xian smiled. Director Qian, you might not know this, but the toilet was clogged just now. Chun Ming went to get a mop to unclog it. Chun Ming was quick on the uptake and immediately nodded. Right. I just want to unclog the toilet. Ghost pestered sneered inwardly. Then what's with the chair legs? Took them to unclog the toilet too. Yi Xian shrugged. They are all outstanding students with good morals and grades. The chair legs in the classroom broke, so they're taking them home to fix them. That's reasonable, right? Yeah, we're taking them home to fix the chairs. Director Qian, look at this chair leg, it's split. If we don't fix it, we can't sit on it. The boys from class 5 all chimed in. Ghost pestered was furious. Then what's the deal with a brick? Taking that home to fix it too? Huh. There are too many loose bricks by the sports field. It's easy to sprain an ankle while running. We're voluntarily cleaning them up, doing a good deed. Isn't that right, classmates? As Yi Xian's voice fell, a unified and resounding yes echoed from the crowd. Ghost pestered was so angry his face turned green. To hell with unclogging the toilet, to hell with fixing chairs, to hell with doing a good deed. Did this group of people take him for an idiot? But the problem was, when he arrived, no one was actually fighting. If he really wanted to press the matter, he had no evidence. It was so damn frustrating. Xiao and Nanji pouted. This guy, he's a natural-born liar. As she spoke, she couldn't help but burst out laughing with a puff. On the other side, Lin Shitong was also amused, her large, watery eyes curving into crescents. All right, break it up. The college entrance exams are just around the corner. What are you doing playing games? Seeing that he couldn't get the better of Yi Xian, Ghost Fright exasperatedly began to clear the court. Yi Xian chuckled. Hey now, Director Qian, it's after school. Can't we just play a game to relax? Ghost Fright glared. When I say no, I mean no. Yi Xian raised an eyebrow, about to argue his point. Just then, a tall figure emerged from the crowd. Count me in. Chu ran. All the girls watching from the sidelines grew excited. Ghost Fright's expression changed slightly. Chu ran, why are you fooling around with him too? Chu ran was the widely acknowledged top student and campus prince of No. 1 high school. He was 186 centimeters tall, with a melon seed-shaped face, fair skin, and a slender build. Many girls at school had a secret crush on him. More importantly, he was the principal's nephew. That's why Ghost Fright was so unsettled to see him step forward. I want to play basketball, Chu Ran said with a deadpan expression. Ghost Fright was a loss for words. After a long pause, he sighed and said, just be careful. The college entrance exams are coming up. Don't get hurt. With that, he turned and left the court. Yeah, the students cheered in unison as if they had won a great victory. The girls' gazes on Chu Ran grew even brighter. Yi Xian smiled too. All right, we just need one more person. Wang Hu, are you up for it? Never mind that Chu Ran was a popular figure at No. 1 high school now. After graduation, he would become a legend. This fellow was admitted to the Department of Electronic Information at Shuimu University with a top score in science from Mingqing City. During his undergraduate studies, he published 3 SCI papers as the first author. After graduating, he went to MIT for a combined master's and PhD program. After earning his doctorate, he stayed on to teach, becoming a rising star in the global field of electronic information. In 2019, Huawei offered him a high salary to return to China to work, but the flight he was on crashed. It's worth mentioning that during his undergraduate years, he was also part of the Shuimu University team that won second place in the 2007 Cuba tournament as a substitute player. It was said that Chu Ran's original dream was to become a professional basketball player, so his basketball skills were definitely legit. Me? Wang was stunned for a moment, then puffed out his chest. Of course I am. All right, our team is full. What about you guys? Yi Xian looked at Xuanming. You think we can't find players just as easily? Xuanming snorted and turned to point out two people. Ding Chong, Zhou Hai. Let's play with them. The two he chose were both over 186 centimeters tall. In contrast, on Yi Xian's side, Wang was 176, Chu Ran was 186, and Yi Xian was 183. They had the advantage in height, stamina, and skill. Wouldn't this be an easy win? You got it. Ding Chong and Zhou Hai stepped forward, looking cocky. Never mind Chu Ran. Yi Xian had just been on TV and was also a big name at school. They were already imagining the scene of them crushing these two popular figures in front of all the girls. Once the players were chosen, the other students spontaneously cleared the court. Chu Ran took off his school uniform jacket, revealing a red No. 11 Shahoku team jersey underneath. This action immediately drew screams from many of the girls. Right in the nostalgia, Yi Xian couldn't help but feel a wave of emotion. Although his feelings about Japan were complicated, it was undeniable that some of their anime had a huge influence on many youths in Dragon Country. Let's warm up first to avoid injuries. After speaking, Yi Xian began to stretch his wrists and ankles. At the same time, he opened his system inventory, selected a lucky aura, and clicked Use. Ding! Lucky aura successfully activated. Countdown. 4 feet, 59 inches. I hope this lucky aura is powerful enough to let me draw some good items. So many girls are watching. How embarrassing would it be to lose? So, Yi Xian decided to go all out and just activate his cheats. After taking a few deep breaths, Yi Xian set the number of lottery draws to 100. After silently praying to all the gods in the heavens, he clicked Draw. The next moment, the lottery results were listed: Computer Experience Book, Basketball Experience Book, Stamina Capsule, Charisma Capsule, School Intranet Source Code, Purchase Permit for Basketball Experience, Book Time Rewind Capsule. Looks like I got something incredible. Yi Xian blinked and quickly entered his system inventory to check. Inside the system inventory, the prizes he had drawn were stacked in categories. Among them were 36 experience books for the 6 school subjects, 28 basketball skill books, and 22 computer experience books. Physical Fitness Capsule, Charisma Capsule, Mental Power Capsule, Time Rewind Capsule, Zionei Wong Source Code, Basketball Experience Book, Purchase Access, Physics Experience Book, Purchase Access, Computer Experience Book. Skill type permanently improves computer skills upon use. This is the kind of thing you can never have too much of. People always say the 21st century is the century of biology. But Yi Xian knew very well that, at least in the early 21st century, computers were the mainstream of global development. Almost all the corporate giants that emerged in later years were related to computers. If your computer skills were high enough, you could truly influence the world. Time Rewind Capsule, special type, can turn back time by 30 minutes upon use, stackable. It can actually turn back time? This thing is kind of heaven-defying. Yi Xian was genuinely shocked. Even in fantasy novels, skills, items, or talents related to time and space were T0, tier existences. To be able to influence the workings of time and space was to touch upon the very essence of the universe. To think he had drawn such an item in this lottery, the aura of luck, was really something else. Zionei Wong Source Code. Consumable type, gain the source code for Zionei Wong upon use. Yi Xian's eyes lit up. Zionei Wong. That's a pretty good startup project. As Dragon Country's version of Facebook, Zionei Wong, which appeared in 2005, was all the rage among university students for a time, reaching a peak market share of 75%. After being renamed Renren Wong, its market capitalization peaked at 600 billion Dragon Country currency. The website only faded from public view later on due to a failed business transformation. If he could set this website on the right path during its early development. Now's not the time to think about this. I should focus on the upcoming game first. Yi Xian reined in his thoughts and, with the exception of the Time Rewind Capsule, clicked Use on all the other items. A vast stream of information flooded his mind, and muscle memory formed. His physical fitness, mental power, and charisma were all enhanced in an instant. Host, Yi Xian Physical Fitness, 91 mental power, 92 charisma, 88 causality value, 74 items. Rejuvenation Water X3, Aura of Luck X2, Stock Market Information X4, Time Rewind Capsule X1 System Store, Math Experience Book, English Experience Book, Physics Experience Book, Basketball Experience Book. I've used a total of 50 basketball experience books, and my physical fitness is 11 points higher than the average. That should be enough to handle this game, right? After checking his personal stats, Yi Xian exited the system. Just like the 6 school subject experience books, the basketball experience books also cost 100 causality value each. He would play for a bit first. If he still couldn't handle it, then he would just have to pay to win. Hey, handsome, you're a good friend of Yi Xian's, right? On the sidelines, Hong Liteo felt a tap on his shoulder. When he turned around, he saw Lin Shitong smiling at him. His face instantly turned beet red. Why, yeah, I am. What's up? Lin Shitong asked curiously. Is he good at basketball? He's all right. How all right is all right? All right's passable. As Yi Xian's good buddy, Hong Liteo definitely had to back him up. The problem was, from what he knew, Yi Xian's basketball skills were truly mediocre. Lin Shitong tilted her head. So, it'll be hard for him to win. Hong Liteo gave a dry laugh and said no more. On the other side, Qian, do you think Yi Xian can win? Xiao Nanji asked with a worried expression. Wang Qian gave her a look of pure shock. Xiao Nanji, what? What's with that look? Wang Qian adjusted her glasses. Compare to me. You're the one who knows Yi Xian best, right? Xiao Nanji felt that made sense, and her pretty face immediately fell. Then I don't think he can win. She had seen Yi Xian play before. You couldn't just say his skills were SOSO. You could only call them atrocious. After all, he had never received professional training and rarely had time to play. Wang Qian patted her on the shoulder. Then we just need to be mentally prepared for him to get brutally crushed. Xiao Nanji thought that made a lot of sense. If she never thought Yi Xian could win from the start, then she had nothing to worry about. 5 minutes later, Xuanmeng finished his warm-up. Can we start now? Yi Xian glanced at Chu Ran and Wang Hu. After getting a nod from both, he smiled. Sure. Coin toss to see who gets the ball first. Xuanmeng pondered for a moment. Let's do rock, paper, scissors, best 2 out of 3. I'm good at that, let me do it. Wang Hu eagerly stepped forward. Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. My bad, guys, not my lucky day. Wang Hu returned in defeat, looking deeply ashamed. Yi Xian felt a massive headache coming on. Seriously, it hasn't even been 2 seconds, and you've already lost twice in a row. This is what you call a specialty. Classmate Wang Hu, do you have some kind of misunderstanding of the word specialty? Don't worry about it. Just play good defense. Chu Ran walked over and patted Wang Hu's shoulder, then came to stand in front of Xuanmeng, assuming a defensive stance. Chu Ran. Go Chu Ran. Go Chu Ran. A wave of screams erupted from the girls on the sidelines. Damn, this is really pissing me off. Xuanmeng's eyes turned cold as he shot a look at his 2 teammates. Ding Chong and Zhou Hai immediately started to move. Yi Xian reacted quickly, chasing after Ding Chong in an instant. Wang Hu, on the other hand, was still caught up in his previous failure and didn't guard Zhou Hai in time, allowing him to get open. Bang! Xuanmeng threw a one-handed bounce pass, which was steadily caught by Zhou Hai. Swish, with no one guarding him. Zhou Hai made a 3-step layup and scored. 1 o'clock. Nice. Awesome, Brother Hai. Great pass, Brother Meng. The sports students roared with excitement. Xuanmeng and his 2 teammates gathered to high-five each other. Then they looked at Yi Xian's team with disdain, their provocation obvious. What's up with Brother Hu? Get it together, Brother Hu. Hong Liteo and the others were anxious. Wang Hu's face was filled with regret and shame. Don't worry about it. Just play good defense. Chu Ran walked over and patted Wang Hu's shoulder. Yi Xian also came over. Don't be discouraged. The game has just begun. Comforted by the 2 of them, Wang Hu pulled himself together. The game continued. Xuanmeng inbound the ball from the sideline. After Zhou Hai received it, Wang Hu immediately came over to guard him. Seeing no opportunity to attack, he passed the ball back to Xuanmeng. Xuanmeng dribbled with his right hand and pointed to the sky with his left. Brothers, let's finish this in 3 minutes. Got it. All right, Brother Meng. Chu Ran's gaze sharpened, and he spread his arms to block Xuanmeng. His defense was excellent, leaving Xuanmeng with almost no offensive routes. Xuanmeng sneered, half-turned, lowered his center of gravity, and back Chu ran under the basket like a tank. The moment Chu Ran's center of gravity became unstable, Xuanmeng turned and faded away, shooting a bank shot. The basketball swished into the net. 2 o'clock. Beautiful. That shot was so cool. Brother Meng is mighty. Xuanmeng flexed his muscles at Chu Ran, then turned to celebrate with Ding Chong and Zhou Hai with a high five. Chu Ran's face was grim. It's over. We're going to get crushed. Only one more point left. Can't be helped. The other team is too strong. If they keep playing at this pace, Yixian's team will be on their knees in less than 3 minutes. The surrounding students watching the game had already lost faith in Yixian's team. Xiao Nanji even covered her eyes with her hands, unable to watch any longer. At this moment, Yixian walked up to Chu Ran and patted his shoulder, saying, "Let's switch who we're guarding." Chu Ran's eyebrows shot up as he glanced at him. Yixian nodded. "Then I'll leave it to you." Without further ado, Chu Ran turned to guard Ding Chong. Xuanmeng was amused. "You're going to guard me?" Yixian smiled. "Scared? Me scared of you?" Xuanmeng laughed in anger. "In a moment, I'll show you what absolute power is." As his words fell, he gave Ding Chong a look. Understanding the signal, Ding Chong ran to the sideline and inbound the ball to Xuanmeng. After getting the ball, Xuanmeng repeated his previous move, lowering his center of gravity to back into Yixian. But with one push, he found that Yixian didn't move an inch. At that moment, Xuanmeng let out an "eh." "What's going on?" Yixian defended it. Could it be that Xuanmeng can't push Yixian back? The surrounding students watching the game noticed something was amiss and began to whisper among themselves. Chu Ran, who had been expressionless since the start of the game, couldn't help but show a look of surprise. He had personally experienced Xuanmeng's formidable strength. Yixian didn't look any stronger than him, yet he could withstand Xuanmeng's post-up? Could it be Xuanmeng hadn't started to exert his full strength yet? Yixian, who hadn't been very confident initially, was now pleased. Absolute power? This is it. He felt he only needed to use 80% of his strength to hold his ground. Thinking of this, Yixian said, "Xuanmeng." "Xuanmeng what?" "Try harder." Xuanmeng felt insulted. He immediately used all his strength to push backward. To his shock, Yixian was like a wall. No matter how hard he pushed, he couldn't move him in the slightest. "Look, Xuanmeng's face is red. It really is red. He must be giving it his all, right?" Just now, many students had the same thought as Chu Ran, believing that Xuanmeng hadn't started to exert his full strength. Now, the situation was clear. Xuanmeng had definitely used his full power, yet Yixian remained motionless. This was a miracle of life. At this moment, Chun Ming stroked his chin and said, "Is it possible that?" Is Yixian pressing forward against the man, making Xuanmeng uncomfortable and unable to exert his strength? "Huh, hiss, that perspective of yours." The other boys were stunned for a moment. Then their expressions became quite colorful. "Qian, is there some special meaning to pressing forward against difficulties?" Xiao Nanji was very confused. Wang Qian adjusted her glasses. "Try replacing difficulty with a character for man, and see if you understand then." Xiao Nanji's small mouth fell slightly open, her pretty face instantly flushing beet red. At this moment, after realizing he truly couldn't push past Yixian, Xuanmeng prepared to dribble around him. Thump! Thump! After 2 dribbles, Xuanmeng spun aggressively. Originally, after a spin, Yixian should have been thrown off to his right side. But when he turned around, he found that Yixian had somehow appeared on his left. Smack! In the instant Xuanmeng was dazed, Yixian reached out, stole the ball, pulled it back beyond the 3-point line, and made a turnaround jump shot. The entire sequence was executed in one smooth motion. The basketball traced a beautiful arc through the air before swishing into the net. 2-1. Yixian scores 1 back. Holy shit! What just happened? Yixian is so fast. That shot was beautiful. A wave of gasps and shouts erupted from the scene. A storm raged in Chu Ran's heart. He anticipated Xuanmeng's spin move, then quickly shifted laterally to block him off and steal the ball. Yixian is so strong. Just as everyone was still stunned, Yixian picked up the ball and ran to the sideline. Chu Ran's expression changed slightly, and he ran to an open spot before Ding Chong could guard him. Swish! The ball was passed precisely into his hands by Yixian. At that moment, Ding Chong had already come up behind him. Just as Chu Ran was about to spin past Ding Chong, Yixian rushed over and took the ball directly from his hands. Thump! Thump! After 2 dribbles, Yixian drove to the wide-open area under the basket, leaped high, cocked his arm back, and slammed the ball into the hoop. With a loud clang, the basketball hoop shuddered. The noisy court instantly fell deathly silent. Everyone's mouth hung open in an O shape. It wasn't until Yixian let go and landed that people snapped out of it. Holy shit, what did I just see? Yixian can actually dunk. Awesome. Fucking awesome. This was 2004, and the physical fitness of teenagers wasn't as good as in later generations. Without specific training, it was nearly impossible for someone 183 centimeters tall to dunk. At one high school, at least, the only ones who could dunk were 2 sports track students who practiced the high jump. Now, Yixian had actually completed a dunk in a real game. The level of shock was beyond words. Qianqian, did you see that? Yixian can dunk. He's so cool. Xiao Nanji excitedly grabbed Wang Qian's arm, jumping up and down. On the other side, Lin Shitong was scrutinizing Hong Litao. Are you really Yixian's good friend? Still in shock, Hong Litao couldn't process it for a moment. You call this passable? Lin Shitong now seriously suspected that Hong Litao was jealous of Yixian and had deliberately downplayed his abilities. Hong Litao wanted to cry, but had no tears. Yixian himself was also surprised. He just wanted to see if a physical strength of 86 was enough to dunk. He hadn't expected to actually pull it off, and it even felt quite easy. In his previous life during high school, he could only touch the rim. Although he was thrilled inside, he put on a calm and casual expression, clapped his hands, and said, "Tie 2-2, one last ball. Let's play it steady." Chu Ran gave him a complicated look and nodded in response. Wang Hu walked over and gave him a hard punch on the chest. Yixian, you are hiding your skills well. If I'd known you were this good, I wouldn't have worried at all. Low profile, low profile. Yixian smiled and threw the ball to Wang Hu. Wang Hu eagerly trotted to the sideline, ready to inbound the ball. Xue Ming, having come to his senses, came up behind Yixian with an ugly expression on his face. I underestimated you before. This time, I absolutely won't let you score again. Although Yixian had scored 2 points in a row, the second being a stunning dunk that amazed everyone, on second thought, both shots were made without anyone defending him. As long as he played good defense this time, he refused to believe Yixian could score again. Well then, we'll just have to see. Yixian shrugged, ran to an open spot, and received the pass from Wang Hu. The moment he turned around, Xue Ming, who had been chasing him, spread his arms and blocked his path. Come on, let's see you get past me. The 192 cm, tall Xue Ming, with his arms spread wide, was like a wall, completely sealing off all of Yixian's offensive routes. On the other side, Ding Chong and Zhou Hai also got serious, tightly marking Chu Ran and Wang Hu, giving them no chance to receive the ball. Go, Brother Ming. Shut him down. On the sidelines, the other sports track students cheered at the top of their lungs. The presence of the 5 of them overwhelmed the other 100-plus people present. Just then, Lin Shitong cupped her hand around her mouth and shouted with all her might, "Classmate Yixian, go for it. Damn, that girl is so pretty. Is she from our school? I don't know. I've never seen her before. What's her relationship with Yixian?" It was only then that some students noticed Lin Shitong's presence and were instantly stunned by her beauty. Among them was the great class president Shun. Xiao Ananji couldn't sit still any longer. After a second of hesitation, she also shouted, "Yixian, you have to win." After shouting, she turned her head and met Lin Shitong's slightly surprised gaze. The great campus belle, Xiao snorted and lifted her chin provocatively. Lin Shitong seemed to understand something and met her gaze without backing down. Where the 2 girls' gazes met, it was as if invisible sparks were flying. In the crowd, Chun Ming looked left and right, murmuring, "To think there's a girl in the world who can rival the great campus belle Xiao. Which one should I choose? This is so frustrating." Thump, thump. The sound of the dribbling drew the students' attention back to the court. Facing Xue Ming's tight defense, Yixian started a crossover dribble. A petty trick. Xue Ming snorted coldly, his concentration at its peak, ready for Yi Xian to change direction at any moment. Thump, 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 thump. Yi Xian's dribbling speed suddenly increased. The moment Xue Ming's focus reached its absolute peak, Yi Xian executed 2 consecutive fake crossover breakthroughs. On the third time, Xue Ming was completely thrown off rhythm and fell, landing on but on the ground. Holy shit, Yi Xian made Xue Ming fall. Awesome. A wave of gasps erupted from the sidelines. On the court, the moment he made Xue Ming fall, Yi Xian dribbled straight for the basket. 2 steps past the free throw line, Yi Xian jumped. He hung in the air, his body stretched out mid-flight, a tomahawk dunk. Clang, a dull thud. The basketball was once again slammed through the hoop by Yi Xian. The entire court fell silent. Oh my god, what kind of dunk was that? It was so explosive. A tomahawk dunk, that was a tomahawk dunk. Awesome, Yi Xian is so damn awesome. Holy shit, I can't believe my eyes. Everyone was stunned by Yi Xian's dunk, although his jumping height and execution still had a considerable gap compared to those NBA stars. But that was still a damn tomahawk dunk. A tomahawk dunk in an actual game. So damn cool. Amidst the astonished cries, Yi Xian turned, walked over to Xue Ming, and extended his right hand. Xue Ming was silent for a moment, then took his hand and stood up. If he had looked down on Yi Xian at the beginning, then now, he was completely and utterly won over by Yi Xian's skill. Totally convinced. The car keys are my bag. I'll go get them for you. All right. As Xue Ming handed the keys to Yi Xian, a system notification sound rang out. Ding! Congratulations, host. You have successfully changed the course of a life, receiving a reward of 20,000 karma points. It's done. Yi Xian could hardly believe his ears. Isn't there still some time before Xue Ming's car accident? Just by taking his car keys, I've changed his fate. It seems the system also has a function to predict the course of a life. Xiao Nanji watched the high-spirited young man on the court, her heart rippling. Suddenly, she asked in confusion, Qian, why do I feel like Yi Xian has gotten more handsome? Wang Qian adjusted her glasses. Have you ever heard the saying? What? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Xiao Nanji's pretty face flushed, and she huffed. What nonsense are you talking about? I'm serious. Take a closer look. It seems, maybe, I guess, he's a little more handsome than before. After observing Yi Xian carefully for a while, Wang Qian also became puzzled. Yi Xian was the sunny, big boy type, cute, easy on the eyes, and could easily win the affection of girls. But you wouldn't necessarily say he was extraordinarily handsome. At least compared to Chu Ran, he was more like a supporting player. But now, with Yi Xian and Chu Ran standing together, Wang Qian surprisingly felt that the two were equally handsome. Have my standards dropped? What Wang Qian didn't know was that other girls were feeling the same way at this moment. If over 90% of the girls were looking at Chu Ran in the beginning, then now, at least half of the girls were looking at Yi Xian. Years from now, the girls of this school will surely remember the boy who dunked under the setting sun. This thought couldn't help but cross Lin Shitong's mind as she scanned the entire court. Then she looked at Yi Xian on the court and smiled, revealing 2 dimples. So girls all like guys who play basketball. After seeing Xiao Nanji and Lin Shitong both gazing at Yi Xian, Chun Ming clenched his fists. A persistent suitor can win a virtuous girl. Starting tomorrow, I'm going to start playing basketball. Pleasure doing business with you. On the court, Yi Xian first high-fived Wang Hu, then walked up to Chu Ran and extended his right hand. You're very strong. How do you train? After silently high-fiving, Chu Ran asked. Yi Xian pondered for 2 seconds. I have a very effective training method. What is it? 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and a 10-kilometer run every day? Chu Ran's eyes lit up. This method. Is it effective? Yes, it's just. This training method might have side effects. What side effects? You get stronger, but you also go bald. Chu Ran was stunned for a moment, then looked at Yi Xian's full head of hair with a strange expression. I'm wearing a wig. Yi Xian leaned in and whispered in Chu Ran's ear. At that moment, a 9.1 magnitude earthquake erupted in Chu Ran's pupils. After a long while, he took a deep breath and said, Thank you. I will train according to this method. Compared to getting stronger, going bald was nothing. With that, he turned and walked away. Hey, you're not taking it seriously, are you? I was just making a meme reference. Yi Xian raised his hand, but ultimately didn't say the words. Putting other things aside, just the 10 kilometers run every day was not something an ordinary person could do. Xu Ran would probably back down when faced with the difficulty, right? Yi Xian, you were so cool just now. At this moment, Lin Shidong came over, bouncing and praising him. Really? It was all right. Yi Xian smiled faintly, then turned and leaned into Hong Liteo's ear, asking in a low voice, "Was I really that cool just now?" Hong Lito nodded vigorously. Cooler than Sakuraji. Yi Xian really wanted to put his hands on his hips and laugh for a while. "Are you thirsty? Let me buy you a drink," Lin Shidong asked. Yi Xian waved his hand. "How could I trouble you? In that case, I'll have a Coke." "It's no problem, Lin Shidong's little head stalled for a moment. When she came to her senses, her beautiful eyes curved into crescents. "You almost tricked me there." Then she took out a coffee-colored wallet from her backpack. The LV logo on the wallet made Yi Xian raise an eyebrow. Let alone in 04, even in 23, LV was a proper luxury item. Lin Shidong was about his age, yet she used such a nice wallet. Her family must be well off, right? Of course, maybe she was using a knockoff, but after she opened the wallet, Yi Xian dismissed that guess. Inside the wallet was a thick stack of 100 yuan bills, visually estimated to be over 10,000. Yi Xian's monthly allowance in high school was only 200 yuan, yet Lin Shidong carried over 10,000 in cash with her. "Hong Liteo, I don't know where your school's tuck shop is. Could I trouble you to buy them for me? I'll buy you a Coke. Or you can have another drink if you want." Lin Shidong pulled out a 20 yuan bill and looked at Hong Liteo. "No problem." Hong Liteo certainly had no objections. Just for a short run, he could get a free drink. Only a fool would refuse such a good deal. But just as he was about to take the money, a cold voice came from behind him. "Liteo, she is a guest from afar. I should be the one to treat." Hong Liteo retracted his hand as if electrocuted, turned around, and saw Xiao Nanji walking over. Wang Qian, who was following behind her, even glared fiercely at him. It scared Hong Liteo so much that he shrunk his neck. "Still an iced Coke?" Xiao Nanji came and stood in front of Yi Xian, asking with a straight face. This was the first time she had spoken to Yi Xian in 3 days. Originally, she wanted to wait for Yi Xian to come and appease her, but the appearance of Lin Shidong made her feel threatened. This feeling was especially strong just now when she saw Lin Shidong laughing and talking with Yi Xian. After a period of internal struggle, she decided to temporarily end her Cold War with Yi Xian. Everything could wait until after she had driven Lin Shidong away. "So, you still remember that I like to drink iced Coke?" Yi Xian felt a surge of emotion in his heart and nodded with a smile. "Liteo, 2 iced Cokes, 2 good drinks, 1 bottle of..." At this point, Xiao Nanji looked at Lin Shitong. "Classmate, what would you like to drink?" Lin Shitong raised a fine eyebrow and looked at Yi Xian. "Yi Xian, is she your girlfriend?" The scene instantly fell silent. Hong Liteo and Wang Qian both turned their heads to look at Yi Xian. Even Xiao Nanji couldn't help but sneak a peek at him from the corner of her eye. Yi Xian smiled. "No, we're just ordinary classmates." At that moment, Xiao Nanji seemed to hear the sound of her heart breaking, the one who was once so attentive and accommodating to her every need. Even if she was occasionally unreasonable and threw tantrums, he would always smile and coax her, the kind of boy who would always try to make her happy. And now he was saying they were just ordinary classmates, but in her heart, he was the closest person in the world to her, besides her family. Chapter 027, A First Taste of a Sharaba. As if sensing Xiao Nanji's sadness, Wang Qin quickly came over and took her hand. Hong Liteo's mouth fell slightly open. After a sigh, he lowered his head, unable to bear watching any longer. He had once thought that Yi Xian and Xiao Nanji would go from the schoolyard to the wedding aisle, spending their whole lives together. Looking at it now, Yi Xian had really let go of Xiao Nanji. As the atmosphere froze, Lin Shitong smiled and said, "Then I don't count as an outsider, right? So it should be my treat." With that, she once again handed the change to Hong Liteo. "I'll have a room temperature Coke. For the rest, just buy what this beautiful lady wants. Please and thank you." Xiao Nanji's grip on Wang Qian's hand tightened. Hong Li Teo, you definitely don't want to die, right? Wang Qian said, her face expressionless. Hong Li Teo was about to fucking cry. Seriously, you two have a problem with each other, so why are you making things difficult for an innocent bystander like me? My life matters too. Yi Xian glanced left at Lin Shitong, then right at Xiao Nanji, feeling that this scene was a bit like the legendary charaba. But this didn't make sense. Xiao Nanji had clearly rejected his confession, and after he was arrested, she had never taken the initiative to contact him again. This was enough to show that she didn't have romantic feelings for him. And now that Lin Shitong had appeared, she had run over to declare her sovereignty. After he said they were just ordinary classmates, she looked all hurt. Could it be that she saw him as her private property? She didn't want him, but she wouldn't let anyone else have him either. Campus Bell Xiao, don't be so ridiculous. Shaking his head to clear these strange thoughts, Yi Xian pulled a 50 yuan bill from his wallet. Let me get it. Hong Li Teo, as if granted amnesty, took the money and bolted towards the small shop. I haven't even had a chance to thank you for saving me, and now you're buying me a drink. Are you trying to make me forever indebted to you? Lin Shitong said, putting her cash away and feigning displeasure. Yi Xian's eyes widened. Wait, you weren't trying to just fob me off with a single Coke, were you? What else? It should be at least 2 bottles. Puffed. Lin Shitong burst out laughing. Then she asked, Yi Xian, do you have a cell phone? What's your number? I'll save it. Oh, and your QQ. I'll add you as a friend. What coincidence. I just bought a phone a few days ago. The number is 138. Wow, your QQ is only 7 digits. Mine is 8. I registered pretty early. So, do you usually chat with people on QQ a lot? Have you met a lot of girls online? I used to add a lot of strangers at first, but not anymore. Why? Because they all cried and begged to be my girlfriend, and I can't split myself in 2. I couldn't give them all a complete home, so I had to delete them. Yi Xian, you're so narcissistic. Watching the 2 of them chatting and laughing, Xiao Nanji felt even sadder. Nanji, why don't we go? Wang Qian said in a low voice. This scene was just too cruel for Xiao Nanji. Campus Belle, Xiao shook her head, a stubborn look on her face. Wang Qian sighed and didn't press further. Just then, Hong Li Teo ran back carrying a bag of drinks. After handing them out to everyone, he blissfully opened his and took a sip. An ice-cold Coke after exercising. What a beautiful thing. It would be even more delicious with some fried chicken, Lin Shitong added. Hong Li Teo nodded eagerly. Don't say it. Seriously, don't say it. My mouth is already watering. Then how about I treat you guys to KFC? Lin Shitong suggested. Before Hong Li Teo could speak, Yi Xian smiled and said, Next time, my mom should have dinner ready by now. His main goal right now was to make money. Everything else could be put aside. So he planned to go to the mall first to buy a laptop and write the source code for the campus network before the college entrance exams. The computer at home was too old. If it crashed halfway through his work, he would have no tears left to cry. Next time then. Being rejected the first time she invited a boy to eat, Lin Shitong was somewhat dejected. On the other hand, Xiao Nanji's mood inexplicably soared. Yi Xian, you do still care about me, right? After Yi Xian left, pulling Hong Li Teo with him, Wang Qian said, Nanji, let's go too. Xiao Nanji shook her head and looked at Lin Shitong. Will you come looking for Yi Xian again in the future? I will. I think he's very interesting, Lin Shitong said, not hiding her admiration for Yi Xian in the slightest. Xiao Nanji's delicate brows furrowed. I don't want you to come looking for him. Lin Shitong was very surprised. Why? You're not even his girlfriend. Xiao Nanji was dealt a fatal blow. Just then, Wang Qian said, Nanji just rejected Yi Xian's confession a few days ago. That happened. Lin Shitong was very surprised. Xiao Nanji lifted her chin, the look of pride returning to her face. If you don't like him, then why are you trying to stop me from seeing him? Lin Shitong was confused. Xiao Nanji huffed. That's none of your business. But he took my first kiss. Lin Shitong said, looking somewhat distressed. Xiao Nanji and Wang Qian's jaws dropped at the same time. What did this woman just say? Yi Xian took her first kiss. No way. Not only did he take my first kiss, he even pressed on mine. As she spoke, Lin Shitong glanced down at her cleavage. Xiao Nanji's face turned pale with anger. That Yi Xian, that big scoundrel, that big pervert. How could he do something like that to another girl? Isn't it just mouth-to-mouth and CPR? She makes it sound like something out of an adult film. Wang Qian, the outsider, guessed the truth and couldn't help but sneer. Xiao Nanji's spirits were instantly lifted. Right, what she was describing was just first aid. Then again, what's an adult film? Ah, you figured it out. How boring. Lin Shidong didn't seem to mind being exposed at all. Instead, she laughed and said, "Anyway, I'm very interested in classmate Yi Xian. We'll be seeing each other again very soon. Bye." After speaking, she turned around, crossed her hands behind her back, and skipped towards the school gate. Lin Shitong, I won't let you get your way. Xiao Nanji clenched her small fists, her fighting spirit ignited. Buzz buzz. Yi Xian rode Shuimeng's Honda 125 out of the school gate, with Hong Liteo on the back. Yi Xian, what kind of car is that? It looks so badass. A black SUV parked on the side of the road caught Hong Liteo's attention. Yi Xian glanced over. A Range Rover. Probably costs over 2 million to get it on the road. How much? Hong Liteo's voice was trembling. Yi Xian smiled. Over 2 million, and you might not even be able to find one in stock. Usually you have to pay a premium to get it. 2004 was the heyday for the coal bosses. As the favorite vehicle of the coal bosses, the Range Rover was truly hard to come by. Hong Liteo sucked in a breath through his teeth. Over 2 million, and my fucking monthly allowance is only 150 yuan. I'll probably never be able to drive such a nice car in my life. That's not necessarily true. Yi Xian smiled. Your bro will teach you a method. I guarantee you'll be driving one within a month. Really? Hong Liteo was intrigued. For real. Listen carefully. From now on, just constantly imagine the scene of yourself driving a Range Rover in your head. And then when you sleep, you'll have a chance to dream about driving a Range Rover. Yi Xian. What? Screw you. Not long after the two left, Lin Shidong came skipping out of the school gate. Along the way, this beautiful, elf-like figure had already attracted the attention of many boys. Finally, a bold student decided to go over and hit on her. But before he could even reach Lin Shitong, a tall man wearing sunglasses blocked his path. Lin Shitong glanced in their direction and waved. "Kai, let's go." "Yes, miss." The man in sunglasses turned, walked over to the Range Rover, and opened the rear right door. Just as Xiao Nanji and Wang Qian were riding out on their bikes, they happened to see the scene of Lin Shidong getting into the car. "Yi Xian, can you ride a little faster? It's better to wait 3 minutes than to rush for 1 second. Liteo." "I get the principle, but..." Hong Liteo watched as an old man on a bicycle overtook them and said, on the verge of tears, "But you're just too damn slow." Yi Xian gave a dry cough. "Liteo, you only live once. Neither of us is wearing a helmet. It's better to be safe." To put it bluntly, he was riding an accident vehicle, and it left him with a bit of a psychological scar. Besides, he hadn't ridden a motorcycle in many years. It was a miracle he could even ride it, and you expect him to overtake a bicycle? A few minutes later, "Yi Xian, this doesn't seem to be the way to my house, does it?" Hong Liteo asked doubtfully. Yi Xian gave a sly laugh. "It's the weekend tomorrow. I'm taking you to find some excitement." Hong Liteo's face instantly turned red. Yi Xian, that's not a good idea, is it? We're still students." "Yi Xian, what's not good about it? We're both adults now. There are some things we're allowed to do." A conflicted look appeared on Hong Liteo's face. After a long pause, he asked timidly, "So, is it safe there?" Yi Xian nodded. "Don't worry, it's completely safe. They can even give you a receipt." Hong Liteo had heard rumors before that you could get a receipt for that kind of thing, but he never thought it was actually true. Are the girls there pretty? There are girls of all ages, and some are very pretty. Most importantly, they all wear uniforms, and some even wear silk stockings. Hong Liteo's breathing began to quicken. He furtively took out his wallet, confirmed he had more than 50 in pocket money, and then gritted his teeth and said, Then let's go." 10 minutes later, "Yi Xian, is this the place you're taking me?" Hong Liteo asked, looking at the Gome Electrical Appliances sign with a completely baffled expression. "Yeah, you don't have to worry about buying fakes here, and you can get a receipt. It's safe, and secure. There are sales associates of all ages, all in uniform, and some even wear silk stockings. Nothing wrong with that, Yi Xian said with a matter-of-fact look, then asked in confusion, wait, where did you think I was taking you? Of course it's... Realizing his slip of the tongue, Hong Liteo's face instantly turned as red as a monkey's butt. Oh, I get it. Liteo, your thoughts are very dangerous, Yi Xian said with a teasing look. Hong Liteo, both embarrassed and angry, retorted, don't change the subject. Let me ask you, what kind of thrill can I find here? Why can't you find a thrill here? Yi Xian, do you think I'm stupid? It's not like I haven't been to this place before. Don't worry, I guarantee that in a moment, the thrill will be more than you can handle. Fine, if you can really show me a thrill here, I'll fucking call you dad. A few minutes later, at the IBM counter, Yi Xian pointed to a laptop and asked, can this be used to play Legend? Yes, sir. This is IBM's mid to high-end model, the R5053C. It uses a Pentium M1, 4 GHz processor, 256 megabytes of DDR3 memory, and a 30G hard drive. It's a powerful configuration that can give you a smooth gaming experience. The sales associate's introduction was like a timeline unfolding. Yi Xian could feel the weight of history from it. Are there any discounts or freebies? Currently, the lowest price for this model is $13,800. However, I can give you a keyboard protector set, a mouse, a headset, and also a laptop bag. All right, I'll use my card. Yi Xian took out his bank card, swiped it, and entered the password. By the time the POS machine spat out the receipt, Hong Liteo's jaw was still hanging open. $13,800. Even if he saved every penny, it would take him 92 months to save that much. Yet Yi Xian bought it without even blinking. Most importantly, it could play Legend. His favorite game, Legend. Just then, Yi Xian patted his shoulder. Liteo? Hong Liteo, huh? From now on, I can play Legend without having to go to an internet cafe. Thrilling, isn't it? Let me borrow it for a few days. First, tell me if it's thrilling or not. It's thrilling. Then what should you call me? Just let me borrow it for a few days first. Liteo, do you want to own your own laptop? Of course I do. I dream about it. But at this point, Hong Liteo's expression darkened. His parents were originally employees of a state-owned enterprise, but were later laid off during the wave of downsizing. His dad had skills and went to a private company. His mom did clerical work and never found another job. She currently sells breakfast from a stall to help with family expenses. Their combined monthly income was less than $3,000. With such family conditions, he didn't even dare to think about buying a computer. 1 year. Just listen to me for 1 year, and I'll enable you to buy a laptop like this with your own 2 hands. Yi Xian said, pressing on Hong Liteo's shoulders with a serious and earnest expression. Hong Liteo glanced at him. In my dreams again? Yi Xian's mouth twitched, and he said with a half-annoyed laugh, I'm serious. Just tell me if you believe me or not. Hong Liteo stared into his eyes for a moment, then nodded. I believe you. Tell me what I need to do. Yi Xian, first step, review your schoolwork well and strive to get into a second-tier university. Actually, this kid Hong Liteo wasn't stupid, he just didn't put his mind to studying. If he made an effort to review in the last half-month, he still had a chance to get into a second-tier university. Okay, I'll listen to you. Hong Liteo had indeed been greatly stimulated just now, which helped him make up his mind. Then he changed his subject. Does Annie Wong know you bought a computer? Yi Xian, of course not. Hong Liteo's mouth fell wide open. Aren't you afraid Annie Wong will beat you to death? Although Yi Xian had just received a 52,000 prize bonus, still, 13,800 was not a small sum of money. If it were him, he'd be calling an ambulance for himself right now. Don't worry, I have a way to handle it. Yi Xian was very calm. What if you can't handle it? Remember to burn paper money for me on this day, next year. What's wrong, Nanji? When Xiao Nanji got home, the look on her face made He Yurong's heart drop. Mom, Yi Xian, Wah. The campus queen, Xiao, could no longer hold back the grievances in her heart and burst into tears. This sent He Yurong into a panic. She had thought that her talk with Yi Xian had worked, because Nanji had seemed quite happy when she came home the past 2 days. What on earth had happened today? After a great deal of coaxing, He Yurong finally understood what had transpired. So, for the past 2 days, her daughter had been so happy because she thought Yi Xian was intentionally trying to make her jealous? Mom, do you think I've lost Yi Xian for good? Xiao Nanji asked, her eyes swollen from crying. No, he's just still angry with you, He Yurong said softly, stroking her hair to comfort her. But he told another girl, right in front of me, that I was just a regular classmate. Then he's probably still trying to make you jealous. Really? Mommy thinks so. He Yurong stroked her daughter's hair and said gently. In the past, Yi Xian was always the one putting in the effort. When you rejected him last time, it might have really hurt him. Xiao Nanji's pretty face fell. Does that mean we can never go back to how things were? He Yurong shook her head. Not necessarily. It depends on what you want. Of course I want things to be like they were before, Xiao Nanji said without hesitation. He Yurong pondered for a moment, then smiled. Then you have to be the one to change. Take the initiative to greet him. Ask him how he's doing and show him you care. Huh? Xiao Nanji's mouth fell open in surprise. Isn't that just chasing after him? Is this really my own mother talking? What's with the huh? Do you have a better way? You silly girl, He Yurong said, pinching her nose, not knowing whether to laugh or be annoyed. It wasn't that she wanted her precious daughter to chase after a boy. But if she didn't, Nanji would be this upset every day. How could she possibly focus on the college entrance exams? Choosing the lesser of two evils, they would deal with everything else after the exams were over. Xiao Nanji struggled with the thought for a short while before clenching her small fists. Okay, I know what to do. In the past, her pride would have never allowed her to chase after Yi Xian. But the appearance of Lin Shidong made her feel a strong sense of threat. That girl was no worse than her in terms of looks, and with a Range Rover picking her up and dropping her off, her family background was likely even better. If she didn't make a change, she might lose Yi Xian forever. And that was something she absolutely could not accept. Mingcheng, Jinxiu Huading Residential Complex. Well, look who's back, Lu Yi. Hey, Annie Zhang. Whoa, bought a new motorcycle. Nah, it's my classmate's. He's letting me borrow it for a few days. Not bad, Lu Yi. You seem popular at school. You're too kind. I'm not just popular. I'm extremely popular. You rascal, just like your mother. You're a sharp judge of character. After greeting the neighbors, Yi Xian locked up the motorcycle and went home with his school bag on his back. As soon as he walked in, Wang Jiahui came to greet him. Why are you back so late today? Hey, what did you buy that bag you're carrying? Yi Xian put down a laptop bag and smiled. I ran into a promotional event on my way back. What kind of event? A prize draw. 10 you want to try. I just gave it one shot. Whoa, and this bag was the prize. Not bad, son. You've got some good luck, Wang Jiahui said, patting him on the shoulder. Yi Xian chuckled. You think winning a bag is good luck? Well, yeah. What else were you hoping to win? Then I'll really have to open your eyes. As he spoke, Yi Xian unzipped the laptop bag. What? There's something else inside. Don't tell me it's a stuffed. When Wang Jiahui saw what was inside the bag, she cried out in shock. What did you win that's got you so worked up? Yi Jiming, who had been reading on the sofa, walked over. When he saw the contents of the bag, he subconsciously rubbed his eyes. Is that a laptop computer? That's right, it's a laptop. Yi Xian grinned and took the computer out. The one and only grand prize, and I won it. How about that? My luck's pretty good, huh? He didn't want to reveal the lottery and stock market business just yet. With less than a month until the college entrance exams, if his parents found out he was playing the stock market, they would skin him alive. After all, to them, an ordinary person playing the stocks was no different from gambling. So he could only use a white lie to cover it up for now. It's not just good, it's downright godly. Wang Jiahui slapped his shoulder again. Yi Jiming, however, felt that things weren't that simple. Yi Xian, you didn't just go out and buy this, did you? Laptops weren't cheap these days. What's more, this was an IBM, a famous brand. You won this with just 10 yuan? Is the event organizer running a charity? As soon as these words were spoken, Wang Jiahui also looked at her son with suspicion. Yi Xian chuckled. I'd like to buy it, but I need to have the money. Don't you have 52,000 yuan? Wang Jiahui asked. Isn't that money supposed to be kept by you? Here, I'll transfer the money to your card right now. As Yi Xian finished speaking, he logged into his online banking and transferred 52,000 yuan to Comrade Wang Jiahui's card. Only after seeing the text message from the bank confirming the deposit did Yi Jiming and his wife completely believe their son's words, and they showered Yi Xian with praise. After dinner, Comrade Wang Jiahui was humming a tune while washing the pots and pans. Her mood couldn't be better. On the other side, Yi Jiming had already moved the old computer into his room and was secretly playing Red Alert. A man is a boy until he dies. Dad, Mom, I'm going back to my room to study. Call me if you need anything, Yi Xian shouted, then took his laptop into the bedroom. His parents were the more open-minded type. They usually didn't interfere too much with his studies. When it was time to play, he could play. He had made great progress in the last mock exam, which further improved his status at home. So, Yi Jiming and his wife didn't bother about whether he would be playing on the computer in his bedroom. Ahem. Just as he logged into QQ, the retro system notification sound chimed. He clicked on the flashing speaker icon in the bottom right corner of the desktop. Maiden by the Wishing Well has requested to add you as a friend. Classmate Yi Xian, it's me, Lin Shitong. Accept it quickly. Yi Xian burst out laughing on the spot. Haha, isn't Lin Shitong's QQ nickname a bit too non-mainstream? No, he had to take a few screenshots later. This was a dark history of the future #1 sweet girl in the domestic entertainment industry. With this in mind, Yi Xian clicked to add her as a friend. Very quickly, Lin Shitong sent a message. Fleeting interstories of his own classmate Yi Xian, your nickname is so cool. Yi Xian felt as if he had been struck by lightning. His whole being was in disarray. Fleeting years then, who's under disturbed. This was actually the QQ nickname he used back then. I could cough up a mouthful of old blood. Is it? I think this nickname is cool, too, /grin. Yi Xian replied, then changed his nickname to One Leaf Nose Autumn as quickly as possible. He was going to become a famous tycoon in the future. Hopefully, Lin Shitong wasn't so idle as to save a screenshot of his previous nickname. Lin Shitong, image. Lin Shitong. This is our first time chatting online. I must save this chat screenshot. In the screenshot, the characters fleeting nearly made Yi Xian spit out a mouthful of old blood. Classmate Lin Shitong, why are you taking screenshots when you have nothing better to do? Are you deliberately preserving my dark history? Fine, I'll take one too. Yi Xian, image. Come on, let's hurt each other. Lin Shitong, hee. Why did you change a nickname? Yi Xian, can we not use hee? Lin Shitong, why? Yi Xian, it's nothing. I have to review for my exams. Talk later when I'm free. After saying that, he logged out of QQ. At this stage, women would only slow down the speed at which he drew his sword. Remaining funds, 1,136,500. It's still not enough. I'll use a stock market information card first. Muttering to himself, Yi Xian opened his system inventory and clicked to use a stock market information card. From 11 a.m. on May 14th to 2 p.m. on May 15th, Weicheng Electric will experience a 14.5% increase. A 14.5% increase in 2 days. Yi Xian's eyes lit up. He took out his phone and sent a text message to Chen Shui. Next Monday morning, 13 million in reserve funds, 10x leverage, be ready. After sending the text, he downloaded a software development tool and started writing the code for an intranet for the school. Monday, early morning. After getting up early and finishing a 10-kilometer run, Chu Ran returned home and went into the bathroom. He turned on a shower head and began to wash. Phew! The warm stream of water cascaded down from his head, bringing a refreshing sensation to his tired body. He rubbed his face with both hands and slicked his hair back forcefully. Then he looked at the few strands of hair in his hand and fell into silence. Thump, thump, thump. At the door of the senior year Class 5 classroom, Sun Chao, who was waiting for the door to be opened, heard the sound of a bouncing ball approaching from a distance. He followed the sound and saw Chun Ming, wearing a red headband and wristbands, with a red no. Tenshahoka team jersey over his school uniform, dribbling the ball with a crossover as he walked over. It's just that his skills were too poor. Each crossover was like a turtle crawling, which made Sun Chao laugh. Class president, what are you doing? What do you think? Chun Ming shot him an annoyed glance. Also, class president was my former title. From now on, Please call me Sports Ace. The corner of Sun Chao's mouth twitched as he held back a laugh. All right, Mr. Athlete, hurry up and open the door. The keys are in my backpack. Get them yourself. As he spoke, Chunming turned around, holding the basketball with both hands. Just then, Xiao Nanji and Wang Qian walked over from around the corner. Chunming's eyes lit up, and he started doing crossover dribbles again. Sun Chao, who was just about to get the keys, had no choice but to sway left and right along with Chunming. The two of them looked like they were performing a pantomime, which immediately amused Xiao Nanji and Wang Qian. Holy shit, the goddess smiled at me. Chunming was instantly fired up. Sun Chao, do you know what a spin move is? Sun Chao said, what are you trying to do? Watch this, Chunming shouted, and the moment his right hand touched the ball, he spun around abruptly. MMPH. The warmth on his lips sent a 9.1 magnitude earthquake through Sun Chao's pupils. In the next instant, 10,000 alpacas stampeded through his mind. Who the fuck does a spin move by staying in the same spot? Huh. If you're gonna spin, just spin. What's the big idea? Lunging straight in my arms, huh? I've saved my first kiss for 18 fucking years. Oh my, I can't take it anymore. Chan, my stomach hurts. In the end, they were both clutching their stomachs, squatting on the ground. Chunming. The most tragic thing in the world is trying to act cool and failing, making yourself look like a complete idiot. What's even more tragic is failing to act cool, making yourself look like a complete idiot and having the girl you like see it. However, Chunming was a man with a will of steel. After a brief moment of being dumbfounded, he wiped his mouth and said nonchalantly, Chao, a song for you, for us to share. Sun Chao's eyes were lifeless. What song? Chunming closed his eyes. He said, what's a little pain in the wind and rain? Wipe your tears. Don't be afraid, at least. Chunming. What? Fuck you. Morning, Yi Xian. Morning. What's Li Teo muttering about? He's memorizing English vocabulary. Last Friday's basketball game had given Yi Xian a huge boost in popularity. So as soon as he and Hong Li Teo walked into the classroom, several classmates greeted him. For real? Li Teo's studying that hard. The other students found it hard to believe. Yi Xian chuckled. How could that be fake? Li Teo has been memorizing them the whole way here. This morning, when he went to pick up Hong Li Teo on his motorcycle, the kid had been memorizing English words the entire time. It was then that Yi Xian knew he had done the right thing by taking Li Teo to Gome last Friday. After the two sat down, Xiao Nanji walked over carrying a paper bag. Yi Xian, have you had breakfast yet? Xiao Nanji looked at Yi Xian and gave a sweet smile. The classroom instantly fell silent. Some students' mouths dropped open into an O shape. The campus belle was actually approaching Yi Xian on her own and asking if he'd had breakfast. Hadn't they broken up? Yi Xian was also stunned for a moment. I've eaten. What's up? I made a cream bun. You can have it as a snack later. As she spoke, Xiao Nanji took out a bun wrapped in a transparent plastic bag from the paper bag. The bun had a filling, and on top of it was a small animal made of white chocolate. Yi Xian turned his head to look out the window. That's not right. The sun still rose from the east today. Could it be that the great campus belle, Xiao, has a fever today? Ahem. Wang Qian gave a dry cough and kept giving Hong Li Teo meaningful looks. Yi Xian, look, this mouse is absolutely perfect. It looks so real, it makes you hungry just looking at it. Hype man Hong Li Teo immediately came online, pointing at the white chocolate on the bun and showering it with praise. It's a rabbit, which was precisely Yi Xian's zodiac animal. Hong Li Teo. Yi Xian couldn't hold it in and burst out laughing. A blush instantly spread across Xiao Nanji's pretty face. Yi Xian, why are you laughing at me? It was her first time making something like this, so getting it to this level was already pretty good. Okay. Yi Xian quickly waved his hands. I'm not laughing at you. I just thought of something happy. What happy thing? It's a secret. Yi Xian smiled, took the bun from the campus belle's hand, and said gently, Thank you for being so thoughtful, but the college entrance exams are coming up soon. You should spend your time on revision. Just as he had told He Yurong, he would treat Xiao Nanji as a friend. If he rejected her again in front of so many classmates, it would put the campus belle in an awkward position. That wasn't how you treated a friend. Even if he didn't love her, he wouldn't hurt her. I got it. The moment she turned around, her pretty face bloomed into a smile. Yi Xian accepted her lovingly made pastry. She hadn't lost Yi Xian. He said, "What is this pain in the wind and rain?" As he sang, Chen Ming's eyes grew moist. Why? Why had the school belle gotten together with Yi Xian again? Could be that Sun Chao was as true. Damn it! How could I have such a thought? A virtuous woman fears a persistent man. Xiao Nanji, I won't give up on you. Chen Ming clenched his fists, his eyes once again filled with determination. After the morning self-study session ended, Yi Xian walked outside the academic building and made a call to Qin Shui. At 10:30, start buying Weiqing Electric stock with a full position. Text me when it's done. Understood, Mr. Yi. In the investment manager's office, Qin Shui was instantly energized. Ever since receiving that text message last Friday night, she had been guessing which stock Yi Xian would choose. Weiqing Electric. It doesn't seem like this company has had any good news recently, right? Qin Shui checked online and confirmed her judgment. But she didn't doubt Yi Xian because of it. After all, it had only been 2 days since she had been proven wrong. Soon, 10:30 arrived. As quickly as possible, Qin Shui invested the entire 11.3 million yuan into Weiqing Electric stock. Half an hour later, Weiqing Electric, which had been fluctuating sideways, began to rise. Qin Shui immediately searched online for the latest news about the company, but found nothing. With no positive news, the stock price suddenly surged. Could it be that a major institution had made a move? By the time the market closed in the afternoon, Weiqing Electric stock price had risen by 8%. After the market opened the next day, the pace of Weiqing Electric's stock price increase slowed down. At 1:30 p.m., under Yi Xian's instruction, Qin Shui began to sell off the position. Not long after she finished selling, the stock price of Weiqing Electric began to fall. Again, a storm raged in Qin Shui's heart. Twice in a row, buying before the rise and selling before the fall. Even a legendary stock market god couldn't achieve such a feat, right? Who on earth was Mr. Yi? What kind of experience had forged such foresight? At this moment, the beautiful manager's curiosity about Yi Xian reached its peak. Mr. Yi, I'm reporting to you. Your total gain from this transaction was 13%, with a net profit of 1,459,800 yuan. To be honest, I still can't quite believe it. You are truly amazing. After seeing the text from Qin Shui, Yi Xian couldn't help but pump his fist. A net profit of 1,459,800 yuan in 2 days brought his total assets to 2,596,300 yuan. Becoming a 10 millionaire was no longer a distant dream. There's still some time before the market closes. I can use the new stock market information. The A-share market operates on a T+1 system, meaning you can't sell a stock on the same day you buy it. However, after selling a stock, you could still buy another one on the same day. The stock market information obtained from the lottery provided accurate rise and fall information for a specific stock over a future period. So, using it now, it might be possible to get on board before the market closed in the afternoon. From 2:10 p.m. on May 15th to 10:30 a.m. on May 19th, Dingtai Industries will experience a 17.2% decline. Yi Xian was stunned. Wait, how could it give information about a major stock price drop? If this were the US or Hong Kong stock market, he could use this information to short the stock. But this was the freaking A-share market. I must be opening it the wrong way. Yi Xian ran out to wash his hands, prayed to all the gods and Buddhas in his mind, and clicked on the stock market information again. From 10 a.m. on May 19th to 2 p.m. on May 21st, Jinglan Liquor will experience a 21.7% decline. System. 3 seconds later, with no response, Yi Xian said, Lu Tao. Hong Li Tao, who was memorizing English vocabulary, said, What? Your sister. Hong Li Tao was completely baffled. Yi Xian, are you insane? Not only am I insane, I also have manic disorder. Want to try me? Yi Xian laughed in frustration. He had 3 pieces of stock market information left, and 2 in a row were about major drops. He wouldn't be furious. It was only because the system had no physical form. If it did, he would have landed a couple of punches on it. Forget it. I'm a magnanimous person. I won't stoop to your level. Hong Li Tao scoffed and took out the Coke he had bought at noon from his desk. Ah, what a wonderful thing it is to drink a Coke after studying hard. As he spoke, he twisted open the bottle cap. TSSSS Fizz Coke sprayed out. Yi Xian wiped his face, looked at the Coke on his hand, and fell silent. Hong Liteo couldn't hold it in and burst out laughing. Then he scrambled to find some tissues to wipe Yi Xian's face. Sorry, Yi Xian. I didn't do it on purpose, haha. Yi Xian, is this how you fucking apologize to someone? I couldn't hold it in, ha ha ha. Where did you get this toilet paper? It was left over from my morning dump. Lu Tao, what? I'm really pissed off right now. In the distance, Chun Ming watched with a hee-hee grin. Just as Hong Liteo was worried Yi Xian would transform into Brother Kuan, Xiao Nanji walked over with a wet wipe. Use this to wipe it off. Yi Xian froze for a moment, muttered a thanks, and was about to take the wet wipe. Let me help you. Without waiting for Yi Xian's response, Xiao Nanji began to carefully wipe his face for him. Chun Ming, who had been enjoying Yi Xian's misfortune, suddenly felt terrible. He turned his head and said to his deskmate, "Where's the Coke you bought at noon?" "Right here, what for? Let me borrow it." Chun Ming took the Coke and started shaking it vigorously. Then he pointed the opening towards himself and twisted off the cap. My eyes. Clutching his eyes, Chun Ming stumbled toward Xiao Nanji. "Classmate Xiao, I can't take it. Please help me wipe them." With a bewildered expression, Xiao Nanji shot Sun Chao a look. Sun Chao walked over in a daze, dazedly took a wet wipe from the schoolbell's hand, and finally, still in a daze, began to wipe Chun Ming's face. "What am I doing? Why am I wiping Chun Ming's face? Stop it!" Sun Chao roared internally. "Classmate Xiao, you're so good to me." Chun Ming blissfully opened his eyes, just in time to meet Sun Chao's disgusted gaze. Time seemed to freeze at that moment. After a long while, Sun Chao patted Chun Ming's shoulder. "Star athlete, let me dedicate a song to you." Chun Ming's eyes were lifeless. "What song?" "Men cry, it's not a sin." Sun Chao, "What? You're a fucking terrible singer." The other students were bent over with laughter. Yi Xian was also amused. Xiao Nanji stared at him, the corners of her mouth curling into a beautiful arc. Sunlight scattered from behind her, draping her in a hazy, pale, golden halo. Yi Xian felt a little uncomfortable under her gaze. "Why are you looking at me like that?" "Because I like you," Xiao Nanji said softly. Chun Ming, who was in the middle of arguing with Sun Chao, shuddered and shut his mouth. Hong Liteo's jaw dropped, unable to believe his ears. Yi Xian also suspected he had misheard. "Because I like you." Like what? This face of his has the massive increase in his charm value, made even the school belle unable to control herself? After a long moment, Xiao Nanji put down the wet wipe. "There, it's all clean. If you still feel uncomfortable, go wash your face." "Okay." Yi Xian gathered his thoughts and smiled. "Thanks." "You're welcome." Xiao Nanji turned around and glided back to her seat. "Yi Xian did? Did Nanji just confess to you?" Hong Liteo asked excitedly. "You're overthinking it." Yi Xian's tone was calm, but his mind was in turmoil. This morning, the school bell had brought him sweetheart desserts again. Adding that to her proactively wiping his face, staring at him with a smile, and saying, "Because I like you." This feeling was as if she were pursuing him. If he didn't have his memories from the future, just based on what the school bell had done, he would have been too excited to sleep for 3 days and 3 nights. But this isn't right. She clearly doesn't have those kinds of feelings for me. Could it be that she's unwilling to lose me, her devoted simp? Yi Xian shook his head, pushing these thoughts from his mind. In any case, the two of them would go their separate ways after the college entrance exams. If she was happy doing this, then let her be. His main mission right now was to make money. The lottery is a matter of probability, and even more so, a matter of luck. Since my luck is bad right now, I'll just use a cheat. Yi Xian, having learned his lesson, entered the system's inventory and clicked to use a lucky halo. Then he clicked to use the last piece of stock market information. From 9:30 a.m. on May 16th to 2:30 p.m.